Hey, man, is that Double D? Yeah, man. Well, turn it up, man.
Let's just go in and, like, kill all the orcs, right? They're the bad guys. Who gives a shit? We just hack and slash and we loot their dead bodies, right? Hack and slash, kill them all, you know, conquer the infidels.
Boy, that campaign sounds like a barrel of fun, doesn't it?
Somebody who's opening a refrigerator and leaning in, right, is the language of a woman. Somebody who's opening their refrigerator and being cut off halfway through that lean is the voice of like a mermaid or a siren, right?
This is not the face of the hobby anymore. And I think there's been mistakes made in years past where people assumed that D&D players were all, you know, white dudes in a basement, which has been a faulty assumption for a lot of years and gets more and more false every day. And so it's, in my viewpoint, honestly, guys like me can't leave soon enough.
I just had to be born with empathy and a weakness for socialism and femboys.
We gotta put a little hot sauce on the taco, you know what I mean?
We want this dwarf to be the dwarfiest dwarf.
Right.
We want the elf to be the elfiest elf.
And just the dashiest dash of Tabasco.
Their voices need to carry across water.
I'm a creative. It's a huge drain, right? Because fans can be awful.
When we got the descriptions, they were very adamant. They were like, try not to make it like a white blonde guy. Like, please, like, we love him, but there's like 500 million of them.
The diversity that the characters need to have needs to reflect the gaming world now. The mix of people that are playing these games, you know, it's not, you know, 13-year-old white boys held up in their basements. It's a very diverse crowd, you know.
You say white lives matter, they don't. White lives don't matter because white lives aren't a thing.
What's this?
What's this? It's the jacket.
The jacket.
Lutherville, Marina Del X, Otisburg. Who's this monster? She's got her own place. Otisburg. It's a little bitty place. Otisburg. Okay, I just wipe it off. That's all. It's a little town. Yep.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
5, 4, 3.
Great, Sam.
We dumping chump. It's a landslide, sir.
On guard.
Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis!
Double zeros, baby!
Double zeros, baby!
I don't mind that girl, and I'm sure she's a nice person, but she looks like a movie theater. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She's got like a drive-in right on her forehead.
Black Lodge boys are here. Matt and Nick, how you guys doing? Good to see you.
Greetings.
Yep. We are on a new platform tonight. We are, and we have a special guest waiting in the wings. I won't keep him long, but I just want to tell you, see, already, it's starting. We have a giant head. For some reason on this site,
it's like Max Headroom.
It is. It's like ridiculous. Yeah. So we are on EV Mux. They reached out to me on Twitter. They're like, "Hey, we're an alternative," you know, and I'm like, "All right, you know what?" So we're gonna give them a try. They were priced like StreamYard used to be, and then StreamYard jacked up their prices. They
and lowered the quality.
Yeah, lowered the quality. Yeah, we had trouble last time we were talking to Black Lodge. And that was on their end, actually. That was definitely on their end, you know. So, and then I heard like, oh, StreamYard had a Black Friday sale where, you know, it's only $18 a month. Well, I got news for you, StreamYard, to quote Robert De Niro in Copland. You blew it.
Are we saying it right? Is it EV Mux or is it what's that O at the beginning?
I don't know how. I think it is EV Mux, and that's just their logo. But,
oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So
it looks like that NBC, like The More You Know. Remember those?
It does. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
The more you know.
They don't know what we're talking about. I will get to that in a moment. Black Lodge. Thank you for asking. Yep. Hope everything is going good with you guys. And I tell you what, I'll get this queued up for Crazymouse, and he can go to work. We'll do one super chat, and then I'll bring on our guest, and then we can do the others. So go ahead.
On guard.
On guard. Crazymouse and Rogan are here. Ultra American TTRPGer. $10. Happy birthday to me. Oh, happy birthday.
Happy
buddy.
birthday. Happy birthday. Line up that spanking machine.
Another day done, another year older. Pretty sure I'm already on the path to grognarddom. Well, we will welcome you with open arms.
Absolutely.
I'm here for the ride. Let's make TTRPGs great again.
If we were dragons, would we be worms? Is that like the age we would be?
Worms.
Worms.
The worms crawl in. The worms crawl out.
Oh, look at who's making it.
Oh, go ahead.
Making it rain.
Go ahead. We'll
Yep.
do Mercurius, then we'll give Wonkee the Mercurius, our old friend, a Justiciar.
Oh, it tells you
Gifted a
who.
membership.
Look at this. This is nice. It tells you who the person was that got it.
Right.
Ah,
there you go. Hero Mouse.
Welcome,
Hero Mouse.
Cousin of mine.
Very nice. All right, well, if there's any more, we'll pick them up after we do the intro. But Wonkee, how you doing, man?
Hey, and welcome. Thank you for having me here today. I am so stoked to be back on the channel. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. Howdy, everybody. How's it hanging? I'm
Good,
excited.
how you doing?
What's up, Wonkee?
Do a little.
Hey.
A little side. I don't know if I like this or not. You know what?
What don't you like?
It's a little
Two handsome dudes right in the middle there. I like
Yes,
it.
oh,
I like
yeah.
it.
It looks a little too like I don't
In
know.
your face.
Too in your face. Yeah.
It's a bit much.
No, it ain't.
Well, Wonkee is on. I actually met Wonkee for the first time when I was playing in Greg Gillespie's live play last winter.
But
I remember
didn't even realize it.
Yeah, my power was out for the first week, and I'm like, oh damn! But I noted this guy who was pretty entertaining. I loved his vibe, and then the next week we adventured together. We were both on the side of Saint Yig, right? You were
Right.
like a cleric,
Brotherland
I was a
and the
monk.
Pious, and I forget your character's name. Man, we had a thing going too. We were in
right.
like the true role play dungeon crawl spirit. That was such a fun game.
Yes, yeah, it was good. So anyway, yeah, so you kind of caught my attention there, and you're a kind of an accomplished artist in your own right. And
We're getting there.
basically, like I said, you've been on before. Now you were on before. You had a project with Ryan Howard that kind of fell through a little bit.
Yeah, one could
you
say
guys
that.
yeah, so you guys are kind of licking your wounds, and I think you're gonna do. You're gonna go your own separate ways. And that might be
Exactly.
the better way to do
End
it,
of
I
the
guess.
day, it's all onward and upwards from here. You know, my project's still in the works. I'm still following through with it. I had to rework the plan a little bit, but you know, beyond that, Bella Follow's still coming in like a steam train. We're going hard.
Excellent.
I'm so stoked for the upcoming future, the near future too. It's going to be a good time.
You are
Kill Joe,
right? We were talking about this off. Like you were right now. You have way less snow than we do.
It's a wild ride. I mean, we had a deep freeze and then it all just got washed away, and now I'm expecting rain for the next 3 months straight, and just stormy weather, gray skies at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Let's keep going.
Meanwhile, we are making national news for like our weather. Like my wife was watching the Today Show. Good old Erie, PA, getting dumped on again.
I don't envy you there.
What was she watching? Good Morning. What was she
I
watching?
think she watches Today. She doesn't.
Is that the one with Al Roker?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
It is. Yeah. So, yeah, we have at least 3 feet of snow out there.
Yeah, we're supposed to get 2 more today, or in the next
couple
2 days.
more inches. Yeah,
No.
for today. Yeah, it's gonna maybe at least another 42. Thraxis, yeah. Popular guy, Wonkee.
I got to do what you can. Am I right?
Yeah, the kids are all right.
Some of them. I wouldn't go that far. Not all the kids.
This kid
my
is okay.
generation jacked up, my man.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your kind of game philosophy. I know you've been on before, but I'm sure there's others that maybe don't know who you are. And then, before you start, too, guys. Yes, we will talk rules lawyer video. I got other things hooked up, so we'll get on to it. But Wonkee's a good dude.
Before we start, we have one shout out for Corona Soul, member for 4 months. He says, "Hello, everyone. Stay hydrated."
Ooh, yes.
All right.
Thank
I don't
you.
know how to
Thank you.
find it. This thing's odd.
Yeah. Well,
EV Mux is.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's our first day.
We'll figure it out. We'll call if we can't put it on screen. We'll at least call him out.
I'm gonna request that the teacher talk about this at community college when me and Rogan have our next class.
Where you take your cybersecurity
Because right now we could
classes.
literally be getting hacked.
All right, Wonkee, tell us who,
All
who
right.
the Wonkee is.
I am the Wonkee. I'm a weirdo eccentric living in the Alaskan wilderness. I have been working in not really game design so much, but illustration surrounding game design for the better part of the last 6-7 years now. I've featured in a variety of independent as well as old school adventure modules. Even got some cover artwork done for the legendary Mr. Holmes himself. So I have a little bit of accreditation under my belt as far as that goes. I am in the process of producing this massive, crazy world setting, the gnarliest, most intense, and honestly, the most grotesque world setting that's ever existed. It's going to be a slow piece-by-piece grind, but here we are, day by day, rocking out illustrations. So I am a commission artist, I am a creative person, and I'm ready to rock the boat, let's say.
You got a fellow Alaskan in the chat, north of the
Hey.
Rockies. There you go.
North
Is there some
indeed.
sort of code you guys do? You guys have your own hand signal or something?
We do. We got that upside down. It's kind of shaped like Alaska.
there you go. Yeah, I love it.
I never knew
Yeah,
that.
that's a little about me, I guess. I'm just a weirdo. I spend a lot of time out in the woods thinking about fairies and goblins and shit like that.
As you should, as every person
Doesn't
should.
everybody?
Right, that's fair. That's fair.
Go ahead. You can throw that super chat up there, Crazymouse.
Get that there from Andrew.
Andrew Thomas, $4.99. When are you having Bob the World Builder on the show? I don't think he wants to come on here. Maybe Rules Lawyer could join him and explain to us how great Jason Todd. We'll be talking that in just a little bit. Yeah, trust me, Andrew. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah. So to go back to Black Lodge's question, we just talked, and you were going to be helping out Rogan on the art for my adventure.
I am so excited.
get-
I was
get
checking
kicked
out
into
some of
gear.
that stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yep. I showed him kind of what I was thinking, and I could already see the wheels spinning in your head.
My contribution is I'm going to check the spelling.
We're gonna
For those who don't know, I don't know how to spell.
Yes. You got this all wrong.
No one's going to understand what that is.
Does that say
Sword is
modified?
SORD. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's go into. I'll need control here
You have
for
it.
1 sec here. Tell you what, I'll do this one, and then we'll go.
Crack the Sky, best album around. Yeah, absolutely. That is my #1 album. Long time Mastodon fan. Good on you, Edgelord. Good on you.
Nice. Thank you, Edgelord, for the super chat, $2. Yes.
My people.
Thank you.
All right. There we go. We'll share that. All right. Ta-da!
Dark Knight of Hibernia asks, who's the guest? His name's the Wonkee. He's from Alaska. He's in the creative world. He's going to be helping out Double D and Rogan on an upcoming module that they're
right.
working on.
Well, you know what? We'll do it.
Commissioned artist. Great guy. Former guest. This is his second time on there.
Oh, you're really
I
hyping
already
me
had
up.
already had his cherry busted. I don't. Yeah, I don't know if I can get this any bigger for you guys, but don't worry, I'll be reading it anyway, so you don't necessarily have to see this. But our old friend Jeff from Denkar sent this to me. He's like, Double D, this would be a good one tonight. And I said, yes, it would. D&D, I can't believe we're still doing this. D&D has to solve its controversial drow problem before a Legend of Drizzt TV show can be made. I didn't even know they were going to be doing a Legend of Drizzt TV show. Did you? Anybody?
I had no idea.
No, I've heard nothing on that.
All right. Hold on 1 second. Maybe if I do this. Oh, there we go.
Boom.
Perfect.
Oh, that's fancy. Look at you.
Learning on the job here, people. Learning on the job.
Nice. The only way.
D&D has to confront its drow problem so it can finally reward the adventuring parties loyal to the Legend of Drizzt. Is that how you say it? Drizzt books?
Oh,
I've never known how to say this fucking guy's
Heard
name.
1,000 pronunciations and all of them sound wrong.
You know who would get it right? Snoop Dogg. That looks like his lingo right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That looks like exactly something for Shizzle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why does Snoop Dogg carry an umbrella? Faux drizzle.
Faux drizzle.
If the drum kit was working tonight, we would have hit that right there. But it's not working tonight.
They do have one on here. I'll figure out a way to put it on. Maybe we'll give you a limited.
Chris Miller in the house.
Oh
Chris.
yeah. Go ahead.
Chris,
You throw that up there.
oh my dude,
He's
He
a
got
good
brought
guy.
up earlier.
He's a
we were talking
good
about you.
dude.
Much love.
Yeah.
Much love to Chris Miller.
Wonkee,
Absolutely.
my
yeah,
man.
man.
How's Bella Follow going on? By the way, we still got to get you in Mads. Funny you should say that, Chris. If you're not too rich and famous, Chris. Yeah, we were just talking about that off.
I have a
off
pitch
screen.
for you, Chris. I'll send it your way within the next week or two here. I've got something I want to send your way. See what you think.
Perfect. Yeah. And I can't remember the guy who won Mad Scribe. I did get your email. You have to understand. It's no joke here. There is like a state of emergency in Erie. You know, we're kind of like whatever. You know, it's just snowing. But like the National Guard has been called in.
I saw him today. They were shoveling.
Yeah, we need them to like pull cars out that are stuck, and also more importantly, like ambulances. Like they have like Humvee ambulances that they can provide. So we actually need them because some of these streets they were at least unpassable.
Some still
are.
Yeah, some still are. Yeah, Crazymouse is a gig app worker, and he's been giving Uber rides to everybody in the city, and so he's seen them. He's seen everything over the last week.
Certainly have.
Oh yeah. But yeah. So hopefully you and Chris can get connected, and we'll see the Wonkee in that Scribe.
Oh, that would be a blast. Let's make it happen.
There's one from Dark Knight,
Yeah.
Double D, and it looks like
Just audio
in this new format. The dollar thing comes at the end, you know, like instead of on top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but
we'll keep-
so if you
we'll keep
missed
an eye
it,
out for
thank you.
But look at we also get the Rumble chats because I see Gary D20. How you
that's
doing,
good.
buddy? Yeah, if you can see the little Rumble logo rather than YouTube.
Oh,
at the end.
okay. Yeah.
See Gary D20. Howdy. Welcome from a Rumble. All right, so back to this. The Dark Elf Driz Duerden was introduced in '88. Oh, God,
that was great. Yes,
we would always make fun of this character in like back in his day. We're like, oh God, it's so gay. Like,
yeah,
so
it's
stupid.
I've never dug the name. I won't lie about it. Cool character concept and all that, but man, what a fucking typo of a name.
Yeah, it does sound like just fat fingers over the keyboard.
Double D. Mac Thompson hit us up. He says Salvatore.
R.A. Salvatore, yeah.
Pronounces it with a sharp T. Drist.
He's Drist. All right.
I don't know if I like that.
It doesn't improve it.
That's not how Snoop. That's not how Snoop says it. So
I think Snoop says it much better.
Yeah, he says it.
Yeah, he was introduced in Salvatore's The Crystal Shard, first book in the Icewind Dale trilogy. So that's he goes all the way back to Icewind Dale. It's the center of a lot of D&D gameplay, and it's also important to many who've never played a D&D game in their lives. Adapting him for the screen may be the biggest commercial opportunity, but a drow opportunity stands in its way. And this is the same concept that they're doing with Gary Gygax. It does not stand in its way because people just left to their own devices wouldn't care that the drow are black-skinned. Like I can tell you, even as, kind of a teenage in an early 20s, probably, moron back in the day, the fact that the elf were black, I never even equated it to like black people in the real world. It was just so weird. It's like, oh yeah, this is a fantasy race of elves.
Exactly. That's a very weird correlation to make, honestly. It seems like a manufactured
Maybe they're the ones
problem
being
from
racist,
the ground
you
up.
know?
I think
it wasn't even. Yeah, it wasn't racist till you brought it into it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
right? Like,
yeah, it's kind of like how with Gygax, like nobody would have thought of this until you do. It's the Streisand effect, and then you bring it up and like, oh well, see, this was a huge deal, and it's like, well, no, it wasn't. You made it a big deal.
Well, let's give that a shout out real quick because Andrew's he's got some moving to do. So have a safe trip.
Would love to stay and watch, but I have a freight to move from Michigan to Texas. Again, I'll have to watch the upload tomorrow Elon for WotC Hasbro buyout. Yes, my friend. Thanks for what you do.
That's Patrick Demo's freaking Christmas wish.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Andrew. Safe travels.
Yeah,
Have a
safe
good
travels,
one.
buddy. Yep.
Jeff just hit us up. Jeff from Denkar.
Oh, yep. Hey, Jeff from, we're showing your article. Thank you. Given orcs are Mexican in WotC, how much do you want to bet they will make Drow Australian?
G'day, mate.
Come from the land down under.
G'day, mate. Who goes there?
Seems the natural progression of this at this point. I mean, honestly, at this point in time, is the only acceptable villain or bad guy to have a knight in shining armor? Like, what are you allowed to have as the evil thing at this point?
Well, that is the evil thing, thanks to
Yeah.
Snow White.
Yeah.
He's a stalker.
Oh, yeah. What's her name?
Jeez.
Rachel Ziegler.
Ziegler, yeah. Oh, God. I just want to know if they are Australian. Are the Drow going to have Vegemite? I still don't know what Vegemite
Listening
is.
to Men at Work.
I've just heard it's awful.
Yeah, that big brim hat with all those corks hanging from it. I never understood that.
Salvatore's books frequently appear on the Times bestseller lists and have sold upwards of 30 million. Wow, 30 million copies. That is nothing to sneeze at. Powerful Drow Ranger is a dark fantasy institution in his own right, and a movie or TV adaptation may be the awareness spike that D&D needs. Why does it need it? I mean, after they just had a fucking movie. I mean, we just came off of a 3-year period where it exploded in popularity. It's not like it's this quiet little game that's trying to find an audience anymore.
Remember when they had to make the episode of Community and make it go away?
Yeah, because he dressed up like a drow. Yeah.
So stupid.
Yeah.
Isn't he Chinese or Asian?
Yeah. It's Ken Jeong.
Ken Jeong, who's a real doctor, by the way.
And funny.
Yeah, he's from Duke.
Vox Machina is slaying dragons and competition on Prime Video, but D&D won't. Unlock the next level with all these skeletons in the closet. D&D must tackle its problematic drow. Oh my God, I can't believe we're still doing this. Why?
So what I really want to know is what they're trying to bring awareness to, because realistically, at this level, my parents know what Dungeons and Dragons is. People on the street know what Dungeons and Dragons is. It's been a cultural phenomenon for 50 years. It's not like people don't know the game. I know so many people that want to play Dungeons and Dragons and don't have a way in or don't have the time or the groups. It's not this unknown, weird, shadowy thing lingering in the corner of the room anymore. Realistically, so what are they really trying to bring awareness to by doing this? Because it seems like they're just making problems for themselves at this point.
Good question. I mean,
like, what is the awareness for? I mean, we have what is that, 30 million copies up there? Yep. Yeah, tell me how indie that really is. Everyone knows what D&D is about at this point in time.
So it's like they're building their foundation on sand, to begin with. Dark Knight of Hibernia, €2. Drizzt is an Elric ripoff, just lamer. Yeah, from what I've heard. To be fair, I've never read any Drizzt. It must have something to it, to sell 30 million. He must at least know how to tell a story for the normies out there, which is great.
What if that's a typo? And it's just like 3,000.
Yeah, 3,000.
And the cat had its paw on the.
You couldn't escape. You couldn't escape this in the 90s. Like everybody was all about Drizzt.
I did read part of one of Salvador's books.
Oh, did you?
I didn't care for it.
You didn't care for it? Yeah, I got a feeling it probably wouldn't be for me. But
I love
that's just me. Look, I'm not my thing. I'm not a snooty intellectual. So if people like it, then they like what they like. That's fine. Might just not be for me. That's all.
I own a couple of the books. I've never gotten past the first couple chapters.
Right. Yep.
Right.
So here it is. D&D has to address its drow controversy once and for all. Didn't they already address this?
Once and for all.
Yeah.
So
how about
never
twice?
Have to hear about this shit again.
This dude is like gray. He looks diseased.
I think he's just gay. Like, I don't what?
Yeah, with that outfit on, yeah, that is really. That's like Queer Eye for the straight guy, D&D style.
It might take 1 second.
This is a fashion
just
show.
Smash that like button.
Yes.
Smash the like button. Show some love to Double D and Wonkee.
Yep. Please do. All right, so a live action adaptation would entail confronting the nature of drow and the color of their skin, which have been divisive in D&D since at least they're honest here, since 2020. So literally in the last 5 minutes, people have a problem with it when we know people went insane in the last 5 minutes. So why are we listening to him?
George Floyd.
Yeah, George Floyd, all the the coof, all that stuff. So why are we listening to these same people that are offended over everything? Edgelord, $2. As an Edgelord, Elric is the OG of ours. Yes.
Yeah.
Love me some Elric of Melnibone.
Agreed.
Yeah, Moorcock is a bit of a kook, but such a talented kook. And even though those books are very dark and they're like, to me, like the quintessential kind of like dark books. Like I wouldn't want to read that all the time, but when I want a good dark story, that's where I would go.
It's very up my alley. And one thing I note with that series is there's this weird hint of underlying whimsy going throughout the entire series. There's almost a playfulness in the work itself as it covers these dark topics and themes. So it's like the most heavy metal shit in the world, but almost viewed through a different lens. I think it's a very interesting. Sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah. Please do go off on those kind of tangents. Because the doc is here. $5 Doc Flamingo. D&D as dark, mysterious cult is a holdover stereotype in its own right. The attempt to play off that shows how disconnected from the hobby they are. Yes, yep. Well said, Doc. Yeah, very well said.
Snake oil made it rain.
Boom.
I know.
Oh, my man.
And then it tells you the five. I think that's such a cool feature. EV Mux. I like that.
Gifted 5 memberships.
And it tells you the 5 that it got it.
Yeah.
That is a cool feature. I like
that is a very cool feature.
Yep.
And Snake Oil does this every week.
Every week.
He's
Go
such a good
Snake
dude.
Oil.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yep. My
Oh,
man.
yeah,
Good dude.
And Mercurius does too. And then we have people who super chat always. So it's like, yeah, they're like all my children. I don't ever want to show favoritism to any of them. So
my kids are constantly asking me which one's your favorite this week.
This week. Well, at least you can get away with it on a weekly basis. That's good.
It's fair. Gives you time to switch it up a little bit.
Oh, and trust me, I let them know when I switch.
And then if you do have a favorite, it's like, well, they just keep winning it every week.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Try harder.
It's like me going to Pizza Hut, like when I was 17 years old and winning Employee of the Month my first 2 months there.
There you go.
The first one I was proud of. I was prouder of the second one. Because I thought well, surely they're going to give it to somebody else just because everybody probably gets this. And they're like, no, you were still the MVP
still you.
of the month. Yeah. I'm like, damn. They wouldn't do that these days. Hungar. What's up, brother? $10?
Carl's
What's
Jr.,
up, you
my
sexy
man.
beast. Yeah, that's right. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Yeah.
That's for the Wonkee. What's up, you sexy beast?
Ah, hey.
He pays
Man,
me
I'm
every
just
time I
hungry
do.
for Carl's Jr. We don't have a lot of fast food where I'm at.
That is a quote right from Idiocracy. Me and Hungar have that. Thank you so much, buddy. It's good to see you here. I hope all is going well with you. Like I said, I've not been able to get on your brother's streams lately. But if you see James, tell him I said hola. All right. Good. You can take that one down, and I will keep reading this. However, oh God. It's only been divisive since 2020. However, the politically dubious nature of the drow started being discussed in the fandom long before 2020. No, it was right. Talked about in dark corners of weird, probably like forums. I don't even know if it was on social media that much. A bunch of fucking weirdos, probably on like EN World or something. I'm sure that. A place that harvests those kind of people.
I'm going to create racism I'm going to hide my racism by creating racism, pointing my finger.
Yeah. Well, you got to create your own opportunities, and then you can be a savior figure to these people in need and make yourself look so morally upright and virtuous. How good of a person you are. You don't need to, deal with this old way of doing D&D when nowadays you can just represent yourself as this, pedestal platform, God, people
they
don't get what's happening to fantasy. I don't.
You're right. There is like a white savior complex going on there.
It's horrible. It's like, we got to add in, all these wonderful virtuous things into the game. Why? I don't see anyone actually asking for these things. And if you are, like, what kind of a game are you really playing? What are we doing here?
Dark Knight of Hibernia, €5. Orcs are Mexican drow. Orcs are Mexican, drow are black. Tieflings are queer gnolls. And furry dwarves are bears. I like that one. But remember, Double D, it's us that stereotype and dehumanize. Yeah.
Right.
Thank
We're
you
the
for clearing that
weirdos.
up, my friend. Thank
We
you
got
for clearing that
one
up.
more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it. My apologies. I don't know how to go back.
That's all
Oh,
right.
there it is.
You
It's
got it?
right there. And it just go up. There it is. Chris Miller's.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, you can just do the wheel scroll up.
Where
That
was
should work.
that? How do you do that? The
just
wheel on
just
the
go
mouse?
over it, and then just do the wheel on the mouse.
right.
It'll go up and down for you.
Okay.
We'll get you in a Microsoft mouse class.
The mouse can't work. The
mouse can't work a mouse. Chris Miller, $5. To be honest, or TBO, a race of subterranean elves should be albinos. True, but they were given black skin because they were created by something evil. There was no race. Yeah, of course there was no racist intent. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, to think that Gary was like, "Oh, I'm going to stick it to to black people by making them black." That's just not. It's like you have the good light elves, from like Tolkien. They're the bright, shining race.
Which one was Orlando?
Oh, that was
Was that Was that
that's in Tolkien? Yeah, Lord of the
Okay.
Rings. Yeah. They're the good. So why not make the subterranean, dark? And I understand from a biological point of view, yeah, they should be albino, but from a mythological point of view, there's nothing wrong with making them black. Do you agree, Wonkee?
So it's an interesting circumstance because, I mean, if this dude was putting out some kind of an intentional controversial statement, then it could be viewed as that. But realistically, what we have here is a fantastical world being fantastical, and people are trying to, nitpick this and make it into this weird thing that I don't imagine it was ever intended to be. How about this? Really dark-skinned alien creatures living under the ground. That's weird. That's creepy. That gets my juices flowing.
Yeah.
I don't need to make these weird, political, cultural statements about it. They have dark black skin. That's terrifying coming out of the shadows at you. I mean, I don't want to just make a, parade for rule of cool, but it does need to be said that you don't need these deep explanations to explain away everything in a fantasy universe where magic's rampant and mithril swords and oh no, the dark-skinned elves. What was he really trying to
Wonkee, if everyone's trying to explain it to you of how it is, then why are we using our imagination with shit?
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't it interpreted how you want to interpret it? You know what I'm saying? Am I making sense there?
I kind of see what you're saying there.
Yeah,
'cause,
it's a land of make believe. Let's use our imagination.
Yeah, it doesn't need
bit.
it doesn't need to follow.
Yeah.
It can be. It goes back to something I know the basic expert is always big on this, like the mythological dungeon. Well, this would be kind of part, I think, of that. It doesn't need to necessarily fit into. I don't want to say like reason or science. It can just be sort of that's the way it is. They're dark. It's dark is always associated with evil or whatever.
And
not
it always
because
has been. The night's scary.
Devil's food cake.
Warren Johnson, a Marxist in need is a Marxist indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, sir.
Right.
Good
And
to
I
see
mean,
you here.
Look back to the early start of fantasy. Let's go back to the early pulps, the weird fiction that was coming out of those days. You didn't have these rough, stigmatized rules of this is how fantasy is. People were making shit that seemed interesting.
Yeah.
And I think that was the forward driving light for what fantasy really is things that pique that curiosity, that spirit of adventure, that whimsy, these things that we need as these primal human creatures. And you're just trying to make it lame. Fucking stop.
Yes.
I'll fight you. Stop.
Attaboy. Benjathan, 10 pounds. Do you remember a while back I mentioned Spirit Island? I do, yeah. Have you talked to your wife about it? I have not yet. I completely, but here is my pen.
Write that down.
Spirit Island. I shall. I circled it. Thank you, Benjathan. Have you talked to your wife? I remember asking if it would be an interesting game to base an entire TTRPG off of. You mentioned she was into board games. Yes. I will. She's actually here right now. If we can, maybe later we can We can
She'd
get
be
her
a
down
good-
for a guest spot.
she'd be a good guest.
Yeah, I will ask her that though, Benjathan. Thank you. John Osborne, yeah. Elves should look like Liv Tyler, not Lizzo. Yeah. I just rewatched. We're like 2.5 in. I'm halfway through Return of the King. Me and my wife are. So yeah, great movies.
Lizzo
Great
is the only
adaptations.
acceptable hero of D&D from this point forward.
Dark Knight of Hibernia 2 €. They don't understand Drow are mythological. No, they don't. It doesn't mean anything to them because they can't use it to sell what they're peddling. And what they're peddling, it's funny how they'll call us like outrage merchants and, oh, you're just grifters and all that. That's exactly what they're doing. They're creating a problem that they, as Wonkee eloquently said, only they can solve. The white savior.
Right.
We're gonna rescue all you poor, black people, from this horrible injustice. When most black people are like, what are you even talking about?
No, and they're regurgitating the same crap over and over, just repackaged in different ways. And from my understanding, I don't know who really wants that at all. Like, who is that actually for? Because it seems like when you throw away a target audience of the people that care about, the thing you're making, well, you kind of lose direction. You lose your aim, your goal, and where you're heading with this. And I think it's almost lost the entire genre at this point,
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, there's people who are digging their heels in like us that are like,
Yes,
no, we're not going to just sit
Kicking
back
and
take it."
screaming, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Tooth and nail, baby.
Yep. Blaine Crichton, New Zealand $10. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, down in Middle Earth down there. Drow are elves, literally in negative exposure. Yeah, a mythological creature inverted due to them dwelling in the inverted underworld. Yes, everything about them is a supernatural reflection. Bingo. Yes. Pearls before swine, though. It's pearls before swine. There, they wouldn't. But they're black. That's what they would say. The supposedly intellectual people would just say, but they're black. You could make that argument to them all day long, and that would be their answer. But they're black, and you're calling black people bad.
What a shallow view of the world.
Yeah. And no one's ever made that association until they did it.
Yeah, funny how that happens, huh? Funny how that happens.
One person until they did.
Oh, these Hadozis, these monkey people. Well, they look just like black people, huh?
Right?
Say what?
We can't say that they were slaves.
I think I've got some friends that might have something to say about that. I mean, you really want to make that correlation, buddy? Like
Yeah,
that?
really?
Really now? Tell me more. How
Chris
you
Miller.
view the world.
Yeah, Chris Miller, $5. Svart elves, dark elves, were the evil elves in Norse legend. Yeah, somebody brought that up earlier, Chris. Thank you. Yeah, and they had pitch-colored skin. Pitch is black.
Right.
Hey, OGG, Canadian $5. I want the Geneva Convention back in Lake Geneva, SummerCon. Ernie is a guest of honor. We love Ernie.
Mhm.
I have no intention of ever attending GenderCon again. We went this year. Look, I will say this. It is a spectacle. Has it lost a little bit of the shine? Maybe a little, but we still had a good time, Rogan and I and Mrs. D.
Absolutely.
I'll just continue to say this. That audience was what, 99, not 99, maybe like 98% just norms.
Yes,
I mean, there's just normal people. I didn't see one at the time like Biden for president or Harris for president or anything. Like I didn't see any of that.
None of that.
I tell you what, I saw 5 sisters, 25 brothers, and probably about 30 troons. That's it.
Out of 45,000?
Oh, 80,000.
80,000?
No, I didn't see all 80,000, but let's just say walking around the vendor hall for four days, you get a pretty good
You
sense.
saw 70 of them, right? If you walked around the vendor hall for 4 days, would you not say that you saw the majority of the people?
I saw a good sample.
You get a good gestalt view.
Yeah.
I saw more dudes with blue or green colored hair than women.
Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of throwing it in the kind of the troon, the transgender category, but
I did see, and you saw it too, the most remarkable young woman in a vinyl Catwoman suit standing in that blazing sun.
Oh God, yeah,
not sweating.
Well, not sweating from what we could see.
Right.
Yeah, she peels that off.
Champion.
You're going to tell her, honey, go get a shower.
You should have gotten up front, gone Cyrus on the Warriors, and asked them if they can dig it.
Can you dig
And
it?
you did.
Patrick Demo, good friend. There was less of the nonsense this past year. Oh, yeah, well, I'm glad it wasn't just me, Patrick. Yeah, because we, of course, got to meet Patrick and his lovely wife.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm glad you saw it too. So yeah, I mean, look, am I ever going to stand in your way of not going to Gen Con? No, but I would also say like don't use it as like a litmus test, because for the most part it was just gaming. Like Dungeon Crawl Classics had the whole floor of like half the floor of Lucas Oil Stadium just running like just regular DCC games.
And if you've never been there, that place is freaking huge.
Oh, it is. Well,
And you know what's ironic? It's not even it's not the biggest stadium.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's bigger ones than that. Like Jerry World, for example.
Oh yeah. Honestly,
it's like twice the size of that.
Yeah. Doc Flamingo, $5. Honestly, we're part of the problem by taking the bait so often. Yeah. Let the crickets answer them, and it will die in short order.
That's Morgan
True.
That's Morgan Freeman's take on it.
In some
Mike
regards.
Wallace asked him, "How do you make racism disappear?" Morgan was like, "Stop talking about it."
Yeah. In the same respect, you do have an article on Screen Rant. Now, how many people see this article? I don't know. You know, I'm of a mind to answer things, but I do see the wisdom sometimes of just saying, "Hey, don't do this Streisand effect."
You know how earlier you asked Wonkee if there's like a special code for Alaskans when they talk, and Wonkee said the upside down pistol. I see Chris Miller trying to send me a message, but because of this new Evmux, I can't get it.
You mean with the little icon?
Hey, whoa.
You can just see it on your phone. Come on. We know it's there.
But I'm not reading my phone. I'm reading this chat because it tells us how far behind we are.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
So, Chris, I see you trying to send me a signal.
Yeah, but your
but
ways
it's not
will
popping,
not work.
It's not popping up.
All right, we'll finish this up here a little bit. We won't go through the whole thing, but yeah, based on Norse folklore. Well, there you go. Drow were invented by, well, if they were based on Norse folklore, they were not invented by D&D co-creator Gary Gygax. They inspired Gary Gygax as an evil black-skinned race. Is there something you're missing there, Screen Rant? Did you want to say that they had black skin in Norse folklore? Did you want to tell us that, or were you just going to craft your own narrative?
See, they're picking and choosing. Obviously, Dritz is very, it has a popularity in D&D and its history, but they're picking and choosing. Okay, this is going to be, going to be a television show, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of the past D&D type characters, villains and stuff like that, like the Durgar.
Yeah. The evil dwarves.
Evil dwarves, so dark-skinned evil dwarves with white hair.
Do they have dark skin though? I'm not sure about the Dwarger. Do you know, Wonkee? Did the Dwarger?
I don't know what the official is on that. No, I feel like they have like fiery eyes or something like that, but I don't know about the dark skin.
Yeah, I don't think they have the same problem.
Not as dark, but that's from third. I think that's from third edition right there.
Okay, yeah, they may be gray.
Right.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I could see the gray. Yeah,
that would make sense.
Yep.
Well, this is a weird circumstance we're in culturally, because without people like us to kind of push back on this, what type of villains are we allowed to actually make by these people's standards? Realistically.
Yes. White guys.
Are dark people incapable of being villains? What if I just had a really cool black guy and he was the villain? Is that now the most evil thing in the world? Like, you can't create these fantasy races that have nothing to do with reality.
Yes.
These are elves under the ground doing weird shit with mushrooms and dark magic, and who knows what they're up to. Like, why does that matter? Why is that the important part? Like, they're flaying people alive and doing all sorts of crazy shit, and this is what you're hung up on? Get over yourself, dork.
I know. That's a great point. That's a great point.
That's your problem with this?
These people don't have enough other people to point at. There's not enough controversy, so they'll just dig it up. They'll find more.
Well,
controversy.
here's their thinking, Rogan. Throughout the history of D&D, Drow have been characterized as monstrous and evil, and I think this is from Hasbro themselves, using descriptions that are painfully reminiscent of how real-world ethnic groups have been and continue to be denigrated. Anytime you say a bad thing about your villain, oh well, that's reminiscent of the bad things that were said by ignorant people back 100 years ago. Well, that really handcuffs you then. What are you going to do? It's painfully reminiscent.
Right.
I don't like that term.
Well, and even things that are actually reminiscent, like, are you not allowed to draw inspiration from the world in the historical context of this wide place that we all live in together? Like, so I have to draw my inspiration from purely the well of, like, European No, absolutely not. I think this is going to be a big booming period in the near future where people are kind of just fed up with this jazz, and I think we're going to see some real off-the-rails shit going on.
I do too. North of the
I
Rockies,
really do.
your neighbor, $10. Thank you, North of the Rockies. Even if they did make a serious study of mythology and folklore, they would just interpret it through their own weird lens anyway. Yeah, it would be the lens of I don't know what you would call it. But this, I guess, this woke philosophy.
Right.
OGG, $2 Canadian. Keep it up, you guys. Are rally points for our side.
We keep that train going, baby.
Yep, we will do our best. Thank you, my friend. Thank you guys, all of you, for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Back to Hasbro. That's not right. Despite our conscious effort to the contrary, we have allowed some of those old descriptions to reappear in the game. If we make mistakes, our priority is to make things right. We present Drow in a new light. Oh, so great. In 2 of our most recent books. In those books, Drow are just as morally and culturally complex as other peoples. We will continue that approach in the future.
They've always been complex. They're a race of elves underground. They're evil.
Yeah, they were complex enough when they were doing the bidding of Lolth.
Yeah.
In like the Queen of the Demon Web pit against the giants and all that stuff.
And if you piss her off,
that's all they had to be. They had to be the villains, and they had a complex plan.
And they were good at it. They were good villains. And I think that's the thing people are really discrediting is what about the fact that these monsters, these villains, they kicked ass. They were fun to fight against. They really did a number to encourage that spirit of like, no, let's stop this evil.
Did you guys hear the analogy about Dungeons and Dragons? And they were talking about who the heroes and such are. And they said the heroes are the ones that actually go into the communities of orcs and goblins or whatever, go and kill them and steal all their
That's right. Goddamn right.
Yes.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, that's because we got to stop them because they're evil.
Yeah. It's
they're minding their own business, and we went into their house.
Yeah. Well, it's this whole thing. I mean, geez, the Nazis had families too. Well, yeah. I mean, but guess what? They're the bad guys, so somebody has to be the bad guy, and boom,
These orcs ate my children. I'm taking their shit.
Right.
Look at this guy. I haven't seen him in a while. Good to see you, Victor. Can't be Eurocentric. Can't use any other culture as inspiration
Victor,
either.
my
Yes.
man.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, anything kind of like white centric. They're afraid of. They either despise it or they're afraid of it. It's one or the other.
Maybe both simultaneously, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. All right, so I think we got the general. The general. Oh, look at that! He's by himself. He's by himself. There we go. Oh my lord! Yeah.
Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the show.
I am the master now.
Right.
I think we found out who Mousecock is.
He's revealed himself. It was my elaborate plan.
Right. The scheme's unfolding.
I love it when a plan comes together.
So they're still on the Drow. But honestly, I think for the first time, these people are a little scared. And I think we owe the election of President Trump, as kind of a pushback against that. I think things are changing a little bit faster now. I think they were changing before, but I think, when you're starting to see like pro athletes doing the Trump dance after they score a touchdown.
And actually,
there's a little bit of a zeitgeist change.
Whatchamacallit, the NFL said that they don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'd think because the NFL has kind of come down on the wrong side of things. Let's just say a little bit. But yeah, if they don't have a problem with it, Well, then guess what? Things are a changing in the culture.
What was Condoleezza Rice? Was she a Republican?
Yeah.
She wanted to be the commissioner of the NFL, if anybody remembers that a long time ago.
Interesting.
Condi. Victor, yep, good to see you. I'll tell you what, let's watch something else here. You want to watch something grim?
Oh, well, let's watch something grim. Okay, heck yeah.
All right, so hold on. Go back to the way we were. The way we were. Hold on, I gotta move this. There we go. Did you see this?
I did not.
Today. This is going to be.
I heard about it, but I did not see
this. Is the CEO of United Healthcare. No, this is not. This is not a scene out of like the Penguin TV show or anything. That is real. He was assassinated this morning.
Pretty efficiently too.
I was going to say that whoever
right
did
there
this
on the street.
Yeah, they were pretty professional about it. You notice how he's
Very
not running
casual.
in panic. He gets on a bike and just
and stops it out.
That was the best little transition there. Yes, though.
Wow.
That's
what city was that? Chicago?
No, that's New York.
New York City.
Oh well, that makes sense then. That sounds about right from what I'd expect.
Although I did hear the mayor of New York, all these mayors like that cuck mayor of Denver is like, we're going to fight you if you try to get rid of all these illegal immigrants. The mayor of New York is like, I'm going to work with them. These people are graping our women. They're murdering people, and I'm going to meet with the border czar.
Oh.
I'm like, yes. I'm like, that's another way to tell. Like, all right. And his quote, "I don't care if they cancel me." That's a black mayor of New York saying, "I don't care if the left cancels me. We're gonna work." So
how much worse does it need to get?
Yeah,
for the left to start opening up their eyes.
Yep.
Really? How much more?
I think there's a willful blindness going on to when, horrors and a weird situation is unfolding before you. It's oftentimes a lot easier to just stay comfortable with your eyes closed. You know what I mean? Rather than accept, maybe this shit's not going well.
For sure.
What's going on? Not my problem,
It's that amazing it didn't happen to me. It happened to somebody else, but not me.
Mm-hmm.
That thought process. It happened to somebody else. Didn't happen to me.
Yep. Yeah. Somebody mentioned he was catching his own shell casings.
Yeah.
that looked like a pro. I mean, I don't know. He might have been a hitman. We'll see. We'll see if he was just a motivated amateur or a professional. A. Warren Johnson, $2 Canadian. Justice for Drist. Thank you, buddy. All right. So this is obviously different video. Let's see what you guys think of this. This is in a Walmart. I'll let it play through.
I'm having a hard time with that.
Don't
What
you all
happened
do
to
that to
thanking
her?
children?
I know.
I don't get it. Like,
it's you know what it's like? Did you ever see the Twilight Zone with a little kid who could wish you into the cornfield?
Yes.
It's a beautiful episode, and that's where we are right now because you can't. You heard some dumb sister yelling in the background. You can't touch that kid. You can't touch that kid. Are you fucking kidding me? So they can just literally do thousands of dollars worth of damage, and nobody can wrap that kid up and just at least keep their arms pinned to their body until their worthless parents come along.
I don't remember the exact point in time that just like the culture at large seemed to agree that children know what's best for anything.
I know.
At any point in time.
It's insanity.
Like, I would have had my face tattooed. I'd probably be missing an ear if I grew up in this modern world. Like, what is happening? Like,
Yeah, I started noticing that. when we were raising our kids, we'd say like, oh, wait, I just, I'm like a friend with our kid. And I'm like, that's interesting. I'm like, I'm not friends with my kid. I love, I I will play with them. I'll work with them. But no, if they fuck up, you got to be there to be like, no, sorry, Sonny or daughter, you can't do that.
Right, there are responsibilities as a parent, and it's a very interesting thing being my age at this point in time, because I see this huge split division between a lot of people are actually trying to return to a lot more traditional family lifestyle amongst my friend group, and these, a lot of people I know, and then you got these trash bag junky fucking losers just letting their animal children crawl through the street eating dead crabs, and it's like, you know what? I think I can see how this is going to play out. I don't need a goddamn crystal ball to see what's going on here. Like, damn, what these losers?
Yes, no, that's a good point. Yeah, Warren Johnson, $2 Canadian, clearly smashing the patriarchy. Good one. Yeah, so I'm just, the video shocked me. I mean, look, the kid's a brat, but all kids are brats at a certain point. But there's something a little off about someone who's doing that kind of vandalism.
Yeah,
in front of everybody.
It wasn't a huge, like, they weren't smashing TVs and going crazy.
Right.
It's just the blatant disrespect of society. It's outstanding, honestly, to see it presented so clearly to where it's not even just, it's encouraged by that one woman who was like, you haven't heard her story. Hold up.
Yeah. Haven't heard, her fucking story. Are you fucking kidding me?
The shame of
You don't know
it
her
is
trauma?
that she didn't do enough damage to, like, press charges.
Yeah, well, I mean,
in reality, she smashed, like, I mean, you can't count those little Debbies. Nothing happened to those.
Yeah.
But it was 3 bottles and 2 packs of chicken nuggets or whatever that was.
Probably $150 worth of damage or something.
Oh my
maybe.
gosh, double D. I'm going to respectfully disagree. It's like $20 worth of damage. Those Welch's sparkling juices are probably $3.99 a piece, right? And the pack of chicken nuggets, this was $20.
It was probably more in cost to clean it up. Fucking
fair point. Yeah, you don't know her story.
She did everyone a favor. She employed somebody to have to go and clean it up.
Yeah.
You know what? If that little girl would have screamed something like "Down with the Waltons" or something like that, she would have been a hero.
Yeah, it's incredible. But I've seen sort of what you're talking about a little bit, Wonkee, and that. I think the some of the new generation coming up has had enough. I think you saw this in the election, where young men, there's a reason they broke, for President Trump, and it's because they're tired of it. They're tired of being demonized.
Yeah,
for being men.
Very, very interesting. I saw a clear, decisive split amongst the group of people I know, my peer group, let's say, locally in my age range. I'll keep it local, to where a lot of people have used these last couple months there's kind of an almost like, all right, let's get our shit together, like, let's start rocking and rolling. We're not totally doomed in this. And then a lot of people are really eating the black pill, going hard into the doom spiral and like more weird woe nihilism than ever. It's a weird thing. And when you have kids and you're just projecting that onto some 5-year-old dipshit who doesn't know better, and now your kid has a nose ring and a face tattoo, it's like, oh, okay, well, what's next in line?
CPS will eventually take them away, and they'll go in the adoption system.
They won't.
They'll never get adopted. Their
those kids will not be saved by the adoption system from these lousy.
They made a movie about it, Problem Child.
Parents.
Well, do you want to see what happens to little girls like that who grow up?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So this is a bunch of chicks and a couple of, I guess they have to be called men, but I don't think they're really men. This is after the election. That's Lake Michigan in the wind, in the late fall. Unleashing primal screams. Bitches be crazy. Oh my lord.
I only do that when I stub my toe.
Slam your finger in the car door,
They looked like the local homeless population. At
the
that point in time, they're
is-
just screaming on the beach with the fucking seagulls. What are you doing?
The one girl in the second row that they showed, she was wearing an orange sweater. She was laughing while she was doing it. Like,
oh, was she?
Just rewind it for.
It's play. It's pretend.
She's out of the club.
Yeah, it was.
She didn't take it seriously.
It
She's out of the
truly
club.
was. It was all make believe. It was all like, oh, let's go down here, let's record it, it'll be great and funny. funny. And that girl was just like, yeah, I'll ham it up.
We'll get the news down here. We'll show them.
I think a lot of people get caught up in this, not actually believing the bullshit, but just going out with it for something to do. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, well, this is what my friends are doing, or, you know, my group of people is doing. I'm going to go scream at the ocean too, you know, like some weird old heathen. I don't know. Like, what?
Self-righteous heathen.
The gym, $10. We should get rid of plate mail, long swords, and longbows since they are Western, yes. Also, dice, because I heard math is racist or something. Oh, and English is too white a language, so no more English books. Yeah, we can use smoke signals, I guess.
I saw
Warren Johnson, $2. MAGA Force Assemble. Attaboy, brother.
Were you? I don't know about you. When I was in high school, that Spanglish was going to be the big thing.
Oh yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah,
I don't know if you're familiar with that, Wonkee, but
I am. I don't know Spanish, but I remember that.
Is it
being
Esperanto? Is that the same thing?
I think that was the technical word for it.
Okay,
Esperanto.
Yeah. Esperanto was that was going to be.
Excuse me, stewardess.
I speak jive.
I speak jive.
Yeah, I think that was probably the best part of this. This image here or this video here. I think it was just them screaming, and then it's just a bunch of.
I'll tell you what would have been great.
Dumb bitches.
One of those whales that go into shallow water and just swallowed them whole.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I also hear a lot of them are sterilizing themselves, which is nice.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's like they'll do these things where, like, if you don't like the President Trump as president, you know, what you need to do is make an appointment, get your fallopian tubes taken out, and we're all just sitting back laughing our asses off. Like, you're doing us a solid. Your genes will not go into the future. Thank you so much.
I tell you what, in the not too distant future, the mental health field is going to explode because these people are going to burn out and they're going to need to be put in cages.
In cages?
Yeah, you know,
straight cages.
Yeah, just like, you know,
like in Something About Mary. Wait, you keep him on a cage?
Like Planet of the Apes. You know?
Honestly, though, a lot of people I know are keeping themselves in cages with like therapists on their phone. They're all just like on BetterHelp in their room all day, doom scrolling on Facebook and shit like that. It's like that's pretty much there. You're already, you know, self-sterilizing. Like, I don't know what more you need. We just have these little personal institutions now.
Yeah. You got to have a nice balance. It's in my opinion, it's okay to go on Twitter a little bit, you know, in the social, the social media square as it is, you know. But yeah, you don't want to be spending like all day every day there. All right, Marvelous Mr. Mean, $10. Thank you so much. Arlie Ermy, yeah, Gunny. Would have said BS. That's not a battle cry. Oh, what I wouldn't do to have old Arlie back. What a great guy.
I got to see that movie again.
Yep, great movie. I saw it in the theater. Edgelord, $2. Is Ebonics still a thing? Let's convert the PHP.
That's another one. Yeah.
You got to convert that to Drow, I guess. Yes, that's Ebonics now.
You know what? I'd probably buy a copy of that. I'm just
I
saying.
would too. Yeah,
that sounds like
well, I'd buy a copy.
Ain't no
that sounds like a deck of many triggers.
Yeah. Yes. By the way, you can get your copy, Deck of Many Triggers. Link in the description of the live stream. We're almost at our goal, so that's all we wanted to do is hit our goal.
Right.
Yeah. Our artist had a nice incident, which I don't think I'm at liberty to talk about, but he is okay, thank God. But for a moment, we were like holding our breaths. Yes, but I'll tell you off screen. But yeah, it was something. All right. Yeah. All right. So let's get to the main thing.
The main event.
The main event.
Let's get it on.
This dope.
Oh boy.
All right. Oops, sorry. 1 second. I got to add him first.
Ronald, the rules lawyer. I have been on.
Oh,
okay.
Jesus.
Sorry. I was vaguely aware of this guy. Like, it just ever so, like, gently. I remember seeing a couple of his videos. And he always seemed like just kind of a little bit like soyish to me, but I thought like, whatever, you know, there's a lot of guys like that. I'm not going to say anything or whatever. But then everybody's telling me like, dude, check out the Rules Lawyer video about the whole Elon Musk thing and all that. So, okay.
He shouts. Look at this picture. He shouts masculinity.
Yes, that's right.
He really does.
I have a
I think
flutter
that's
and
the
fear
Robert E.
inside
Howard
me.
character come to life right before our eyes. That is
That's right.
the new Solomon Kane of our.
That's right.
Cal ordered a deck.
An
It's on its
unofficial
way.
hiatus for reasons some of you might have guessed by now. The Trump election has made me very busy in my activism. Also, I am.
Why do they always sound like that? I'm sorry, but why do they sound like that? Come on.
Bitches be tripping.
Yeah.
Like,
BBT.
Bitches be tripping.
I don't.
Does he stream from the bathroom? Says Bleeker. It sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how his voice normally sounds.
Why are we not like this? Like when Biden won in 2020, I'm like, that sucks. I didn't say like it has really amped up.
We
my
all went down
active-
to Lake Erie and had a scream fest.
Yeah.
We put our screams in a jar.
Let them float away. Some sailor will find them 20 years from now.
The word activism, other than calling out people online, like a shit poster, never even occurred to me. Activism. What activism?
Right? How active are you really being in this? Because it sounds like you're just, yelling on the internet. Like, what are you actively fighting against her for, dude? What's this guy talking about here?
Well, let's carry on, shall we?
I'm running 6 simultaneous private RPG campaigns, and I also had a.
What is it with that whimsical music in the background?
He's doing it at a
It's kind of undercutting his own points.
It's at a carnival.
He probably played it himself on the little recorder.
A very big project that I published on my other channel about Stranger Things, which you all should see. And you've got to admit, I deserve a little break after my very thorough coverage of the new Pathfinder book, War of Immortals. I will return to my normal programming as soon as I become available again, which I'm not sure when that is. I am also simultaneously overhauling a website and learning how to do that. As always, supporters of my Patreon will get early access.
Oh, dude, you're such a gem.
Yeah.
I don't trust that this dweeb can write or talk about good fantasy. He just doesn't have that vibe.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Like,
It's not. Yeah. It's just when he opens his mouth. Like, look, physical is physical, whatever.
Stranger danger.
But just when you open your mouth and you talk like that, you can already tell that's kind of a timid
I want to
person.
X-card this guy from my table.
That's right. Chris Miller, $2. His blood type is SL, soy latte.
I'm also doing a video rooted in my activism with the organization BAM and my commitment to social justice.
BAM!
On the
BAM!
election of Trump
That's
and the
Emerald
fact that
Lagasse.
Trump is a fascist.
BAM!
And what we need to do to defend democracy. I've been planning that, and I did not realize until yesterday that I actually need to do another video earlier.
You don't need to. You don't need to.
That's your point, dude. We don't want to hear your life story.
Bam.
Yeah.
What a beautiful
You're
still
going to
frame.
defend
You're not
democracy.
going to sell me. I don't like you.
The delusions of these people.
You know-
I have to save democracy.
I'd like to think he has something meaningful to say at this point, but he's really sold me not a lot going on here. I mean,
no.
Anything he has.
I have very little faith going into this guy's video. I'll say
Yes.
that for sure. I have very little faith.
Good one, Surly.
Fascism. Because I find myself in the peculiar situation of now defending Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast from the fascist Elon Musk. Peculiar because many of you know that I'm
Fascist.
calling for boycotting Wizards of the Coast.
The guy who wants to eliminate as much government as possible. That is the antithesis of fascism.
I mean,
that is returning power to the states, to the people. That is not fascism. That is the opposite.
Not for the same reasons, but I'm also not buying a lot of WotC products, so I guess I can get behind him on that. Mainly because
these guys love to make a show of, I don't like WotC either, but I'm kind of forced into defending him. God,
Right.
we've heard that from like Bob the World Builder did that, like old chestnut. I'm sure Ginny D probably did to all these people who are like, gee, I don't like WotC, but it's really unfair, the attacks.
Anytime you say the word but,
people pleasing.
you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
But-
weaselly. That's the vibe of this dude. This dude's a fucking weasel.
Weasel. Yes.
for a number of things, including working with union-busting goons, the Pinkertons, for its layoffs and attacks on its own workers, to support any impulsive unionization among the people who work for WotC, as well.
Impulsive unionization. What does that even mean?
You know,
that's the non-word. That's not non. That's a non-phrase.
Doctor.
What is he even getting at here? Like, he's just saying all the right keywords. I don't.
I know.
Like,
exactly.
Greg Gillespie. Oh,
yeah, the man is here. Yep.
Greg, thank you. I've been going through my book. I really appreciate it. That was very nice. Very nice.
Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, he was kind enough to provide a couple copies.
Did his fantasy team win last week? Did he dominate again?
He is. He's
won
unstoppable.
again.
He's unstoppable.
Yeah. So
Like
he's teaching you guys how to play football too. Okay.
12-1 now, Greg. Is that you won last week? I think. Oh man. Yeah, Greg may have something in the hopper, so he will be on probably. I would say maybe within the next month or two.
Ooh, that's
well,
it's always welcome.
We have to watch the calendar, Double D.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we're gonna have a 2-week break.
Are we? It's Christmas on a.
I think Christmas
Wednesday.
is a Wednesday,
and then New Year's Eve. Yeah, I mean, even if we do like a limited or like to push it behind a day or forward a day, we'll
Christmas
we'll do something.
and New Year's Day are both Wednesdays.
Okay, we'll figure that out.
18th of December.
All right.
We'll get in touch.
We'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll get in touch.
All is to oppose having a near monopoly in the tabletop role-playing game space and the predatory consumer practices that is causing. But now, the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, is now directing his reactionary internet mob against Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. And he's even teasing that he will buy it out. Hasbro's net worth as a corporation is $9 billion, which is doable for Elon Musk.
I think that's doable.
Doable?
I think that's
How much
doable.
guy's going to be a trillionaire?
How much was X when he bought it out?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's that?
How much was X Twitter when he bought it?
Was it 44?
44, yeah.
Billion, I think. Yeah, 44 billion.
I think he's got 9.
Yeah,
I'm just going out on a limb.
Yeah, he's got it.
Has about $300 billion. So people know Hasbro is run by a group of institutional investors. So if Elon Musk really wants to buy it out, he can if he gives the right price for the board of directors to vote on. On the other hand, what we're about to see might be some flippant comments on his part. However, even if that is what it is, it's important for people opposed to fascism to call him out on principle and to prevent the rise of bigotry and to foster diversity in the hobby.
You know, when people use a word so often like that, it absolutely loses its meaning.
It does.
It no longer has a meaning. You know, you might as well just say donuts or something else. Don't even say fascism because it doesn't mean anything anymore.
I saw a special on North Korea one time. This I think her name was like Lisa Ling. She's like a reporter. She went over there. And what they were going to do is they were going to give eye surgeries, like cataract surgeries, to these North Koreans because they're so backward there. They literally people were blind because they had treatable cataracts. It's a simple surgery. So, Western doctors came in with her, and the North Korean government agreed, but of course they had a tight leash. They did these surgeries, and these people who can now see, what they did was, they got them all together after, they had their surgeries and talk about, how great it was. And they let them come up and speak. Do you think that they thanked the doctors? Do you think they thanked, whoever sponsored the trip, whether it was one of the news, outlets or not? No. They thanked the dear leader and said, death to America, because that's what they were programmed to do. And that's all they can do. And some of it, I understand, is fear. Because he feels in his heart, if he doesn't do this, he will be canceled because he's seen how his side operates. So when he's talking about calling out fascism and fostering diversity and inclusion and all that, it is the exact same rhetoric that like a North Korean would do when he knows that there's a gun pointed at his head off camera. But he is so steeped in this ideology. I don't know if he understands it anymore.
He has his bone to pick with WotC, absolutely, and he's already known about that. His bone with with Elon Musk has nothing to do with D&D and WotC. He just has a bone with Elon Musk. So he should be a straight shooter and say, hey, I just don't like this guy. I'm just going to make a video about nothing, and I don't like this guy.
Yeah,
and that's
far
it.
more respectable. That's for
Absolutely.
sure. Rather than trying to, get this weird facade behind the game, and no, just speak your piece, pussy.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, fascism is absolutely a left-wing philosophy. The history books written often by left-wingers has lied to you. Fascism is not right-wing. It is most definitively a left-wing philosophy. It's just based on.
I took a quick pee break, really quick.
Oh yeah. No, go ahead.
You're not in front of us.
Yeah, we're just gonna. Yeah, don't do it on camera. Go keep your mic on so it could be like Frank Drebin in The Naked Gun.
I was trying to find something to ban them, but I don't know how to do it. Not wonky. There was a comment back there I didn't particularly like.
Oh, really? Yeah,
I think we got a troll in here.
Oh, the guy who likes you're all dumb fuck. Yeah, just let him go. It's okay. I can.
But I don't see him on here, but I see him in there.
Shut up, you dumb little thing. It's not me. Keep crying. All right. You've been a bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a bad boy.
Oh, try it, Moose.
Ooh.
All right. All right, guy who likes Heelys. Run, pussies. Yeah, we just don't want a fag like you destroying our momentum, and that's exactly what you are.
No one liked wheelies. Girls like wheelies.
I think that might have been the guy from Twitter that I was beefing with. I kind of told him off and then told him how unimportant he was, and now he's...
I plan to say more on Trump and the failure of the two-party system in America, including the failures of the Democratic Party, in the video I said I'm planning. But for now, I'm going to say that Trump is backed by a handful of extremely rich multi-billionaires who have a combined net worth of more than $400 billion. And the majority...
He has, like, the world's biggest, so it's, like, totally skewed. But, like, if you look, like, at the Harris... like donation, she had like far more billionaires donating to her. That's why she raised like 3 times what Trump did and still ended up in the red.
Majority of that net worth is from one man, Elon Musk, who has a net worth of $290 billion of those dollars. Elon Musk is a narc.
Yeah.
When is it bad for a person who worked hard to earn money, make it big, and then to spend it the way he wants to spend it? When I don't know when that became bad.
Yeah, here's his master plan: reducing government waste and getting us to Mars. Yeah, that's a horrible thing. Yeah, don't send us to Mars.
Wonkee, you left your mic on.
Did I really?
No, you didn't.
Okay, I was okay. Well, there we are. You heard
it sounded healthy.
I won't make any excuses. Whoopsies.
Got a healthy prostate.
Nope, not at all.
Narcissistic megalomaniac. But he's more than that. He is a fascist. And I, as a political
this
person,
means nothing.
Do not use that word lightly.
Yes,
and
you
as
do.
cavalierly as others might. The purpose of fascism is to add to the capitalists' indescribable, absurdly large amount of economic power, direct tyrannical power over the state.
So this is Dunning-Kruger in full force. He has no idea what fascism... This lie that fascism embraces capitalism. Absolutely not. If you go back in history, it's a lie. That's why they called... At the time, fascism was called the third way between communism and capitalism. But it was still a socialistic system. They relied on authoritarian government. I always say this when people say, like, but Nazi Germany was capitalistic. Could you have sold I Hate Hitler t-shirts in Nazi Germany? If you were a mom and pop store.
I don't think so.
Be a ballsy move, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have because all of the industries, even though they had the veneer of private enterprise, they were all infiltrated and infested with Nazis.
Right.
That's exactly what happened. So they were all in line with what the state was doing because they had to be. So it looked like they were private. They were not.
lingering fear of fascism has caused this almost puritanical movement on anything that these people just deem inappropriate, but they don't think about what that actually means for themselves. They're just kind of, regurgitating the line they've been, recycling for half
It started
a
in the
decade at this point.
60s. It started in the 60s with those French socialists who are pretty much responsible for destroying our education system. They infiltrated. Yeah, but they realized, that was a good canard to throw because I'm not a Nazi. You immediately get defensive, and it's only been now in the last 10 minutes where we've said, all right, fuck you, go eat shit, do whatever you need to do, you fucking piece of garbage. And then this guy is human garbage.
Right.
Jeff from Denkar, Canadian $5. Calling anything fascist you don't agree with is a Marxist tag. Exactly. Yeah, it's those socialists. Frenchmen from the 60s. Blame Antonio Gramsci and his ilk for the woke, as it was his idea that created it. Yep, absolutely, Jeffrem.
Check this
and
out.
woe to him.
Yeah. TWB just became a member. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome.
Did we get the one above that? I think there was another one. No, I guess we got them all. We got them all. All right.
Well, TWB, pardon me. You're going to make another step to the inner circle.
Yes.
Welcome.
Right. Thank you, TWB. We do appreciate it. All right, let's continue with this moron. I don't like him.
In order to drive down the living standards of all working people. It historically does not accomplish its aims with a coup. It operates within democracy and whips up a reactionary mob that, if the fascists can take state power, they use to destroy democracy, destroy unions, and defeat and destroy the mass movements for equality. One instance of that mob was the election of Trump, something which Elon Musk himself was central to funding and engineering. Before I forget, I'm not going to be on Twitter anymore, which Elon Musk owns and which he used to deceive the American public.
Let me clear. You are so brave.
Yeah.
You fey little weirdo.
I'm going to switch over to soup cans and a string.
What's it? Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
Blue Ski. Yeah.
Join all the pedos on Blue Sky. Yeah.
Okay, I thought that too. I downloaded it because I was like, oh, everyone's moving over here, and I never really got started up on Twitter. And then I started looking around. I was like, this is just gay Twitter. This sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's gay Twitter, but it is infested with some serious, let's just say, issues that they have with CPN.
I imagine this guy's on there. He looks like a creep.
Yeah, I would love to see. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. Yeah, I was going to say.
I'll start a fight.
I'm just going to say that's, if that's the company you want to keep, then so be it. But good Lord, I mean, why would you want to be there? Asterion Moloch, $5. This guy has no idea what fascism is. Corporations sure weren't calling the shots in Italy or Germany, and to think they were is brain dead. Yes, they were all. This is the lie of this is what I hate about the history that you've been taught is that, fascism is kind of like capitalism. It just has a dictator. It's like, no, it is socialism with instead of
socialism and femboys.
Yeah, as Tick History will tell you, it is socialism not based on class, but on race, like racial purity in the case of the Nazis. But it's still pretty much the same system. It has nothing to do with what they're saying here. Calling him a fascist means nothing. I mean, it means absolutely nothing. There's nothing to it.
This guy does seem like he would make up his own definitions for things.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. I just these people just confound me. I mean, in some ways I get them, but in some ways I'll never get them. I understand their tactics. I know why they do it. Or no, I know how they do it. I know what they do.
But you don't know
I know the end, but I just don't know underneath what is wrong in your soul that you would see a guy who is literally trying to he is literally building rockets that land and get caught. And he wants to send us to Mars because he's thinking of the long-term survival of humanity.
He's pretty freaking cool watching that rocket land. I mean, like NASA needed this dude 40 years ago.
Yeah, I mean he is so far ahead of NASA. I mean it's not even close.
Yeah, no, and Oh, sorry. If I can just chime in
go
on
ahead.
that
Go ahead.
really quick. It was a really interesting thing because, Elon's all with that Starlink thing. And I was over earlier this year in a little village called Metlakatla. It's Alaska's only native reservation. And I was there with fellow artist James Shields. And basically, the Starlink is the only reason these people have reliable internet over there. It's opened up job opportunities and just, it's helped out this small little community, the Indian reservation, so much, and it's affordable. Like this dude can say fascist all he wants, but boy cries wolf, baby.
Yeah, that's a great point about Starlink. He's given it to people in the Ukraine. He immediately gave it. When he talked to Trump's like, "Hey, what can you do for these people in North Carolina and Florida and Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
All these people that got hit by the hurricanes." Immediately, boom, bunch of Starlink, devices. So they can reconnect to the internet. And to just sit there and call him that because he's not on your side politically anymore really drives me crazy. But I love it because normies are starting to see just how fucking crazy these people are. And they're like, we reach the tipping point when normies are like, I do not want to be associated with this. How could you as a normie see this fey little bastard and say, oh, I want to be on his side? He's got it going on. This is the fucking side I want to be on.
I understand the eagerness to do something meaningful and impactful, and if you actually have something to say or something to do, yeah, by all means do it. I mean, I think that's one of the beautiful things this country is founded on. But that's not what you're doing at all here. You're just doing this weird kind of ghetto, plastic, half-assed mob mentality on the internet. Yeah, it's so performative. Like, it's easy to see right through.
Yep. Asterion Moloch, $5. Lavadar has a lot of good videos on understanding fascism. Start with when a communist fails to understand fascism. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I watch a lot of Tick history, and he is a reformed socialist. So those are the people that I sometimes like to listen to. If their heart is in it, you will never find a more based person than a reformed socialist because they've seen the lie, they've lived the lie,
fair,
and they realize how evil it is. So he did a ton of videos on the origins of like Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels, Lenin, all the communists and what they had in common. Hint, hint. They were all lazy bastards who didn't want to work. He shot them.
Stop it.
Yeah, well, they would
hitting close to home now.
Yeah, inside joke there. Funny how they would. Funny how they would have a philosophy then that sort of kind of celebrates that in a way, punishes people who go out and do things and make the world go round and make the world such a better place, like Elon Musk. These people loved Musk when he was making the electric cars and he was good for the environment and all that. And then all of a sudden he's like, he looks around and says, wait a minute, all you people are fucking crazy. I can't be with you anymore. I haven't moved. You've moved. And now you've, left me with the only person who's sane. And that was Trump this election. That's why
I think a lot of people found themselves in a similar boat too. I mean, beyond just Musk, like I think that trickles down to the everyday person. Yeah,
absolutely. It's more and more people are seeing it. Like I say, the more you laugh at people like this, the better. Thank you, Asterion, by the way. I will check that out. That's when it tips. You can't reason with them, so laugh at them. Okay, you will never convince these people that they're wrong.
I think it's the only way forward because what else can you do? You can accept the lie and spew the same bullshit. You can ignore it completely, or you can make a point and say, haha, no, loser.
Yeah. They always appeal to emotion. Snake Oil Sean, 9 months. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for always making it rain. Love you. I bet I'd be willing to bet all 6 campaigns he's running are basically the same game. Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, of course.
Or really half-assed.
I'm in
He's Crazymouse. One of He's our mole. Mole on the inside.
Is that the one that's at the Y?
I play a thief called On Guard.
On guard. All right.
To get Trump elected.
Let this run a little
and
bit.
it's increasingly becoming a reactionary cesspool. I am moving on to Blue Sky, and I'll have a link to my Blue Sky in the video description. So what happened? Elon Musk is now making Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast a villain in his culture war. His crusade against being quote-unquote woke, as if being humane were a bad thing. Every tabletop role-playing game
Nice
player
edit.
who values the dignity and equality and survival of people like me, people who are non-white, who are LGBT+, as well as women and other discriminated...
Petite plus.
Check.
What's petite plus?
Did he say LGBT plus or petite plus?
Oh, I thought he said petite plus. Like,
all right, hold on. I'm gonna
welcome
do.
to Old Navy.
Hold on 1 second. I need control here. I need control. We're gonna. All right. Let's hear. See if we can hear this again.
And equality and survival of people like me, people who are non-white, who are LGBT+, as well as women and other discriminated against.
I don't know what he was saying.
I'm hearing petite plus. That can't be right.
Petite plus. I think he meant LGBTQ plus, but he honestly he's probably such a master at it now because he probably brings it up all the time. He can say it like it's one word, where it's a mouthful for all of us. Oh my God.
Should defend Hasbro and
I like
Wizards of the
petite
Coast
plus, though.
against Elon Musk's reactionary idiocy. I'm fully aware that Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast have a mixed record on diversity, but Elon...
Mixed record? How about no record?
Remember in Horrible Bosses when they were on there pitching their thing and they called it Nickerdale?
Yes.
And he's like, I can't be hearing this right. I'm still stuck on petite plus.
I'd be more interested in petite plus.
Or Always Sunny, got to pay the troll toll if you want to see this boy's hole.
Elon Musk is attacking their right to speak in support of diversity. By defending their right to make these statements, we are defending everyone's right to support diversity and supporting the existence of people in the hobby like mine.
Do you think this guy could walk up to like a group of like brothers and sisters and just sit down and be like, hey, my fellow oppressed people? They would they would look at him like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That would quickly turn into one of the greatest roast sessions of the century,
Yes,
honestly. No, I don't think he could go
He
ahead.
might enjoy a good spit roast.
He honestly looks at the guy who complains at the party, like, the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This guy at a restaurant is a nightmare.
Oh,
sends his food
this
back
steak's
twice.
not done to my liking. These onion rings aren't crispy enough.
Oh, don't you have this this kind of water or pop? Okay, I guess I'll just have this.
I'm looking for cotton candy Faygo. Do you have it?
Yeah, and I mean, let's face it. What we're talking about here is like real feminine, like energy. Like this guy is a profoundly feminine.
John, you're saying Gary, Indiana. I was thinking East St. Louis for some reason. I don't know why. We were thinking the same thing.
Same shitholes.
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can grab that.
Yep. The Badger.
The Badger. What does the Badger have for us for $5? Ironic that folks like RL want to understand and play old school D&D. He means rules lawyer here. But they never would have wanted to game with the creators. Oh, he would have 10 years ago. Before the hive mind, as Elon calls it, and it really is, took hold. If he's been online for a while, I bet you could probably find, chat, videos or even comments of his praising Gary Gygax. Yeah, 196.
Oh, real easy.
I got 200. I got holy shit. I got 208.
I'm at 209.
Ooh, we up there, baby. Heck yeah.
2 weeks in a row.
It's all to the Wonkee.
Congratulations.
Is this the new normal? We'll give you your due.
I'll take a little credit. Yeah, throw me up on that spotlight.
Heck yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you. Oh, look at this.
Someone's making it rain.
Snake Oil Shan just
Ooh,
gifted
Snake Oil
5
bringing
more
it.
memberships.
Man, that's so nice.
He
Thank
won't
you.
stop. He won't be denied.
Dang.
Can't stop
Heck
him.
yeah.
Can't stop him.
Thank you, guys. Thank you
I
so
won't
much,
stop.
Snake Oil Sean, my boy. And all you guys that are super chatting too. Like I said, you're all my children. I love you. Hit the like. Oh, there you go. Look at this guy. Get him out of here. Where's the hide from channel?
Ban them.
Ban this guy.
Hit the verify button. What was that?
Yeah.
Verify that shit.
Verify. Yeah, Wonkee is a ratings booster, says Joe. Yes.
I'll strip if it helps.
It was, you know what it was? The potty talk.
Yes.
It had to have been.
Of course, yeah.
We spiked at a
Had to
certain
be, yeah.
point. Thanks, Wonkee. We all know when.
Myself. What you see is an article in Forbes that just ran on November 29th. Could Elon Musk become the master of Dungeon Masters by buying Hasbro? Elon Musk put out 2 tweets, and the controversy began with some right-wing people on Twitter complaining about this book, The Making of Original Dungeons and Dragons,
Go ahead and
put
shill
out
it.
by Wizards of the Coast. They complained about some statements in the preface at the start of the book. Now, I have to make a confession. I accidentally bought this book in violation of my own call for a boycott. At the end of 2023, I was doing some videos covering the history of D&D, and I saw this online. I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I want, to see the original early publications. I was a bad boycotter, basically. And I forgot that I bought it, and when I remembered that I shouldn't have bought it...
I could just spank you with a cat of 9 tails.
Angry Shellback, thank you so much. $10. No comment. If he says something in the chat, make sure to put it up.
Absolutely.
It was already on its way. But it allows me to cover this issue, which in the end turned out to be good.
I love these guys. They're like, look what I got. It just kind of fell in my lap. And I hate Wizards of the Coast.
I went to the mailbox and
it came out.
look what was in my box this morning.
Yeah. It's like, oh my. Just pure happenstance. Oh my God.
I accidentally went to the store and bought it.
There's such a falseness of integrity going on with it.
Absolutely. A. Warren Johnson, $2 Canadian, 50% off, baby. Yeah, on Amazon. Don't get it still. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you, like, don't buy it, because I guess you get to rip out the first 2 pages, but I would not support them on this one. I'm always like, hey, play the game you want to play. Even if you're enjoying 5th edition or even the new one, then God be with you, because you can find the good in a lot of different things. But I wouldn't support them on this book in particular, because they took an official stand on Gary, and I bet you can probably find the PDF of this somewhere. Somebody's like stripped it down.
Right,
Brian Stevens, $20. Good Lord.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Wow.
20 bones.
Thank
the rules
ya.
lawyer lost me when he came out last year in support of Palestinians after 10-7. Yeah.
Check.
I mean, it's, yep. I mean, look, without, there's a way to be like diplomatic about that and just say like, maybe you don't like either side. Maybe you have problems with either side, but you could just say like, why don't we all just try to get peace going over there? Instead, you come out specifically on the side that hand glided in, raped, and murdered a bunch of women and, men. I mean, but more power to you, I guess. Whatever.
And then you chant in the street just like you're told.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Let's go to the lake.
Oh yeah, to the lake. We need to bring this guy to the lake. That's that's where we're at here. Is this guy just needs a little lake trip? He can scream it off, throw a brewski in him.
So
get
someone
him
on
going.
Twitter complained, D&D creators, Gygax and others are erased and slandered at the same time. WotC and Hasbro just released the new Player's Handbook and Dungeon Master's Guide, as well as the 40th anniversary Making of D&D book, whose foreword slams the original creators and attempts to distance themselves.
All true.
This person then includes screenshots of what they find objective.
I love how they call Grums like this person. He's a fucking Mark Kern. He worked on this little game you may have heard of, World of Warcraft. Just nothing real big.
I've heard it mentioned once or twice.
Yeah. But just like Elon, who used to he was the guy who did the electric cars. He was great. He was so cool. Then all of a sudden they realized, like, you people are fucking crazy. You people that I'm around, my whole life, I'm leaving you. And then, like jilted lovers, they become this person. This person has accomplished more than you ever will in your miserable life, rules lawyer.
By a lot.
Yes.
It's like we're talking mountains.
Yeah.
What's he put on his pizza?
Oh, anchovies and like
black olives, anchovies and black olives. The
grapes,
grapes,
M&Ms. The usual, please.
Yeah.
Grapes and M&Ms.
Yeah.
No, that's a tofu pizza kind of guy right there.
Tofu, yeah.
Cauliflower crust, please.
Cauliflower, yeah. Yep. Oh man.
Actionable in the book, and we'll see those in a second. Elon Musk responded, "Nobody, and I mean nobody, gets to trash eat Gary Gygax and the geniuses who created Dungeons and Dragons. What the fuck is wrong with Hasbro and WotC? May they burn in hell." Now, I have to point out how obviously problematic it is for a man as powerful as Elon Musk, who has 200 million followers on Twitter, to use such language in response to anybody really.
Oh, the language. You can call somebody a literal Nazi, people who burned many people, responsible for the deaths of tens of millions of people. It's okay to label somebody that, but when he says, just in a general sense, a company, not even a person, a company can burn in hell, that's a bridge too far for you?
Self-awareness doesn't matter when you're on the right side of history.
Yeah.
Don't you know that? You fool.
Yes. Yep.
Tattoo the flag on your face and smile.
Yep, as long as you got the pronouns in the bio and the right flag. Yep.
Right.
Problematic, yeah. It's whenever you hear somebody saying something is problematic, I don't want to say like they're immediately commies, but you got to raise an eyebrow, and then if they're the right kind of person, they'll be like, I can't believe I just used that word, you know.
I'll speak my piece on this one. They might not be commies, but they're total pussies.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a very telling word.
The only reason I give that 1% of an out, I have heard normal people use it. They almost immediately recognize, like, oh, I can't believe I used that word. I didn't mean it that way.
It's a good word out of the context,
Yeah.
Like, oh, this piece is problematic in the puzzle. It's turned the wrong way. I mean, it's a good word.
But nowadays, they have totally sullied it, and it's almost completely.
Sometimes when you're listening to people talk like that, you have to like dissect everything that they're saying. Can you leave out all those stupid words and just get to what you're saying?
Yeah, someone who's not like Crazymouse is not online. If you couldn't tell, like at all, like is not online at all. So it's a lot of times he's almost has this childlike wonder at like all this stuff that's going on, and it's refreshing to hear because honestly, you should be the norm instead of like the exception nowadays. Like more people need to be like you, someone who just gets up and goes to work every day and just does their job. But
Cold War's got something to say.
Ooh, yes. Ooh. $1.99 Cold War. And starting a comment with yikes. Yeah. Yikes is a big one too. Yeah.
Zoiks.
Yeah, let's see. Use the shaggy zoiks.
This language has violent undertones, and he aims to control the federal government.
Yep,
and he's whipping up a mob mentality among his millions of followers. One of the people whose preface was screenshotted was Jason Tondra. He is the project lead behind this book.
Piece of shit.
He also wrote the second volume of the Bloodlords Adventure Path for Pathfinder RPG, which I, in fact, am running as we speak.
Of course you are.
He was asked, did he foresee this kind of
Bloodlords
blowback to his comments? And he writes, early in the book's development, the marketing team asked me what sort of critiques we should expect and prepare for, and I and the editors agreed. The problem was going to be from progressives and people from underrepresented groups who justly took offense at the language of original Dungeons and Dragons, which is reproduced in this book. I didn't write the preface until late, and I wrote it to address those concerns. It never occurred to me I'd rouse the ire of the grognards. It's obvious now that I look back on it, but I just don't take those critiques seriously even now. I consider those people not worth listening to, so I didn't anticipate their outrage. And good for Jason Tondra for saying this, because as we'll see, the outrage really is over nothing and is reactionary and stupid.
Reactionary. Yeah, it's reactionary. Yeah, another fucking commie.
This guy has no honor whatsoever. He was open about.
He is Kippa.
He's open about his disdain for Watson. He said, "Boy, got them," but I mistakenly bought the book.
Yeah.
You know, now you hate you hate Elon.
I'm a snooty little bitch.
Yes. Honor, dude. Yeah, there's, your words mean nothing.
What if
They carry
Elon
no
went
weight.
and bought Blue Sky?
Oh, that would be funny. Yeah, there's nowhere you can hide. He could buy that with pocket change.
Prank of the year.
Couple $1 million.
Like hide it in whatever hedge funds or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys don't even know, but I own that too.
Yeah, I'm letting you guys talk about what you talk about. You do it at my mercy. Marky X. Don't believe I've seen you before. Maybe I have.
Welcome.
Yeah, well, Canadian, $5. Good to see you and thank you. He is the type of person where people create a separate WhatsApp group just to talk shit about him. Yeah, I get that sense too.
Solid.
Yeah, some of these people are like, they're true warriors. And then there's ones that even like the woke ones realize in their spare time, like, oh, that guy's just a drain. Like he really would be like
more faucets, less drains.
Yeah. Yeah, he would be. We have that saying all the time. Crazymouse and he came up with it. I need More faucets in my life, less drains. I need people to fill me up rather than drain me out.
Yeah, I was about to kind of chime in on something very similar. On like, this dude just seems to be interested in, ripping down and not actually trying to add anything of value. He's just kind of carving away things.
Right.
that
No,
don't
you did
satisfy
say you
his-
said he complains at a party all the time. Like you're right.
Yeah.
Yep. This is the kind of guy that when he
I
when
like
he,
the Tostito scoops, and you got the rounds. I
but,
can't.
but
have
it's
them.
or he'll say, but it's okay. But he just needed to say it just to let you know, like he's unhappy, like he's terminally unhappy about everything.
I see you got cherry Pepsi. I prefer cherry Coke.
Yeah,
I'll
well,
drink it.
that's okay, I guess.
Well, this statement gets shared on Twitter, and Elon Musk responds, "How much is Hasbro?" Clearly teasing that he's considering buying Hasbro. Before I talk about what Elon Musk is trying to do here, how it's fascist and what people's attitude should be towards it, I will address what is claimed in these tweets. I'm a big fan of studying and covering the history of early D&D. In fact, I have a video on the top 10 things in original D&D that would shock modern players that you might enjoy. First, this person tweets that Gygax and others doesn't mention Arneson, and in fact, none of these people mention Arneson, which is a big omission in talking about, if you're talking about honoring the creators of Dungeons & Dragons. He claims that they're erased and slandered at the same time. Erased is bullshit. That's not what's going on here. This is a 500-page book.
Let me guess the point he's going to make, because I have not watched this video so far. He's going to say, he's going to do the old Bob the World Builder. How can you erase someone when he's in here?
Yeah.
Not getting the fact that you are erasing their legacy of being a marvelous genius creator. And instead saying like, oh, he's an imperfect person like we all are. But even like the imperfections that you're talking about don't really exist.
Man, me and Edgelord are thinking we're on the same freaking page.
His glasses or mine?
His.
Okay, I was going to say.
Okay, yeah.
Double D. I told you. Yeah. Wonky and Double D. Raise it.
I see that. That's
filthy.
the beauty of having low self-esteem. You're like, oh my God, that's my glasses. Where's my rag? My rag. Dr. Urias Papers, 2020, $5. This guy is a super Hamas supporter. Yeah, we got that earlier. And a massive Marxist. Yep, I was picking up on those vibes. He has a past video. Hold on, go back to that. I didn't see his.
That's a great comment, right?
Hold on, we gotta. He has a past video supporting Hamas. All right, go back.
No, go ahead. No, everyone saw it already. There you go.
All right.
But is he wrong? I don't think so.
There it is
He's
again.
onto something.
There it is.
Overkill. What are you talking about? Stop it right now.
That kills.
Good old Joe. Joe, you missing not living up here? Joe used to live in the we'll just say in the neighborhood.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, but he's probably not missing the 3 fucking feet of snow that we have.
2 more feet coming this
and 2
weekend.
more, yeah, at least another
Hard
foot,
thing to
maybe 2.
envy.
Yeah,
That is honoring Gary Gygax, Dave Arneson, and the other early creators of Dungeons & Dragons. It is of high quality. It includes early articles by those two creators and others, including precursors.
All these people, I hate Hasbro, I hate WotC, but here I am. I'm going to shill this fucking book. Matt Colville did it. Bob did it. This guy did it.
When you diminish the legacy, you are erasing them.
Yes.
You are.
Yes, but it just goes
What are
to
you
show
talking
how
about? We're talking about Christopher Columbus as we knock down his statue.
Yes, yeah. How could we be? Yeah, it's a great point. But they're so pedantic they won't recognize it because I mean they're just being purposely ignorant and obstinate. Warren Johnson, $2 Canadian. Garibay after the video of exalted activism. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, if the book does have some merits, I guess they should be pointed out. I mean, the entire thing can't be a bundle of burning dumpster fire, So, at least this dude trying to give something good as he then goes on to, squeeze his own neck. Like, I don't really get his game plan at going at this, but at least he does try to play that devil's advocate. Like, it's kind of a good book, but,
Well, it's reprinting a bunch of stuff that I guess hadn't been printed. So in other circumstances, if you had just left out that shit, guess who else would have bought this book? I would have.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
though,
that's fair. I probably
it's like
would have
I generally don't buy WotC stuff, but I might have coughed up something for this.
Do you think it was an intentional effort to kind of ruin the credibility of the one WotC product old schoolers might have been interested in?
Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah,
some
no, it's a
psyop
giant
shit
fuck
right
you
here.
and a giant we don't want you as customers anymore. Yeah. Yeah, they don't think white men are their audience anymore.
They
Good
can't
luck
get
with
out
that.
fast enough.
Yep. And look, it's
Oh, if I
taking
am.
a lot of time for them because, as we said with Crazymouse, not everybody is terminally online, and a lot of them just like, oh well, here's the latest edition of D&D. They don't see all this stuff.
That's such a good
And who knows? They may buy this book and they skip over the preface and they just go right to the good stuff. Yeah, so it is a fair point that, yeah, this is reprinting good stuff, but that good stuff was made by the fucking guy that you're demonizing in the first 2 pages.
Yeah,
and
that's where I kind of got a problem.
You don't see, and it's like, you guys don't see the irony in this? It's like all the good that's in this book is from the guy that you say is a racist and a sexist. Sorry, Patty.
Much love
to
to
you,
you,
everybody.
Peace.
Yep. Take care, man.
Have a good one.
Yeah, it seems just odd that he would diminish the creators of this so intensely and then at the same point just try to point out its merit. Like, we talked about it briefly earlier. What is his goal and game plan with talking about this book here? I'm still kind of lost as to what he's really getting at.
Yeah,
it's his
I agree.
excuse to demonize Musk. I mean,
think so.
that's a tool he's using to do it.
I think that's it.
The
Yeah.
entire book is a facade for him to just trash and whine and jerk himself off, is what I'm hearing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, at least we're on the same page with understanding.
Including their articles in war game hobby magazines. I would say it quite lovingly and in a detailed form chronicles and honors what Gygax and Arneson did. The same preface by Jason Tondro that was screenshotted that person found offensive also says the following: "It's difficult to overstate the impact of Dungeons & Dragons on games and gaming. Modern video games with their classes, levels, and hit points are D&D's direct descendants, using language, tropes, and mechanics first created by Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax.
See you, Chris.
Science fiction and fantasy wargames likewise descend directly from some of the materials included in this book." This is the first sentence of the preface. The second screenshot that they complain about in that tweet is from the foreword by John Peterson. John freaking Peterson! He is a titan and probably the leading figure in chronicling the history of Dungeons & Dragons, and I have his book here, Playing at the World. A very detailed and rigorous account of the birth of Dungeons and Dragons coming out of wargaming and early science.
You can find a better story about the origins of D&D with Secrets of Blackmore. You've said it before, the Griffith Morgan documentary on, the Arneson group up in Minneapolis. It's far better. Don't support like John Peterson. Just honestly, just watch the amazing documentary that Griff put together. Regardless of what you think of Griff, and I like Griff, even though he has a thing for a certain group online. Let's just say that he's always getting into scuffles with, but he's a pretty good dude who I like, and he made a perfect documentary about the origins of D&D, and that's all you really need to know. You don't need John fucking Peterson, a guy who was on board with all this, by the way. He's on board with shaming the founders of D&D. It's no different.
It's fantasy literature. It's over 600 pages, and it has small type. But you should look at his website, by the way, Playing at the World. It's an excellent source for looking at the early history of Dungeons & Dragons. John Peterson wrote all of the historical notes in this book, I believe, chronicling what Gygax, Arneson, and other early hobbyists did to create Dungeons & Dragons. And in his foreword, he says, "It has long been my position that the contributions of both co-creators were indispensable, that the game would not have appeared, let alone survived for a half century, without the work and ideas of both Gygax and Arneson."
Nothing new here.
These people on Twitter
Everybody realizes
don't
this
recognize.
now.
They don't recognize Arneson. But that said, the original designers of D&D were themselves participants in broader communities in wargaming and science fiction fandom, and the game owes much of its shape to the web of influences that surrounded them. Gygax and Arneson socialized many of their ideas in fan magazines or fanzines, some of which are reproduced here. he's saying the truth. He's talking about the fact that these weren't two people, geniuses, as Elon Musk calls them, descended from on high, like born out of the head of Zeus, like Athena. They were products of their time in history and came out.
They're creative geniuses.
Right? I think that that's kind of a belittling take for this dude to have. Like, no, of course not. This is about like the slow, difficult creation of one of the greatest legacies the fantasy world has ever known. What are you talking, dude?
It's the spark of inspiration, and you get more of that, initially on the Arneson side. But then, like you said, it's the long slog of getting it to the masses, which is more on the Gary side.
Exactly so.
All right, now we understand what this is. Now, it can't exist as just an idea. People have to be able to interact with this idea.
Yes.
And there is genius in that.
Oh, absolutely.
There is,
it takes
absolutely
so much effort, time. Like, this was I can imagine it as nothing more than a labor of love that went on for a long time before something actually hit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of unseen hours and, long nights behind the creation of this game. And I do think it really does take a work of genuine genius, to do something of that caliber.
You definitely watch that Secrets of Blackmore documentary. You can get it on Vimeo, I think. Or Amazon Prime if that's easier. I think Vimeo they get a better cut, but it's fascinating the story, and it does mainly focus on Arneson, but then Gygax, they kind of focus on him coming into, and like you said, just the time, just his secretary or whatever, typing up the game. They interview her she's like, oh yeah, I remember typing this table. She's like, this is a pain in the ass to type, but good Lord. There is genius in that, and for him to just belittle it and say they're not geniuses, like, well, all right. I mean, are we curing cancer here? No, but there's different levels of this type of creative genius that we're talking about.
Right. And I think it's one thing if you're comparing, giving all the creative genius of modern Marvel or something like that and attributing it all to Stan Lee. Like, no, that's a who knows how much money's in that industry. The huge design team. This isn't that. This was a little grassroots indie thing that worked its way into becoming Macho Man of the, gaming sphere.
Yep, for sure.
Out of a wargaming community that shared ideas. And that came with good and bad. And the good is what brought us Dungeons and Dragons and the entire RPG genre that we have today, with its huge influence on other gaming and on our culture.
What do you mean?
All right, so this person claims falsely that these two people erased Gygax and others. Their other claim is that they slandered them. Now let's look at that claim. John Peterson wrote in his foreword, note that the rules for Fantastic Medieval War Games campaigns, that was part of the title of the original D&D book, that make up original D&D were created by and sold to a wargaming community that was almost exclusively white middle-class men. This is just a statement of fact. Here's a picture from one of the first Gen Cons that Gary Gygax organized when it was only a wargaming convention in the late 1960s. I think that might be Dave Arneson right there. Not sure, I think. Peterson continues, the rules compiled here offer little by way of roles for other players, nor indeed for anyone who wouldn't easily identify with a pulp sword and sorcery hero. This also is a statement of fact. The precursor to Dungeons and Dragons was a set of rules for medieval wargaming campaigns set in medieval Europe.
I'll just say this as a YouTuber too. This is a sloppy, rambling video. Like, he's not getting to his main point fast enough. I mean, we're already at least 10,
too much
10
interjecting.
Minutes. Yeah.
I'm listening intently, and I still don't know what he's actually trying to make a point of. Like, is he just covering this as a whole, like the general view of it? Because, I've heard a lot of his personal opinion about things that aren't related to this book in particular. It's like the really wide variety of topics going into what he's rambling about.
Yeah, he has a point. Yeah, exactly. It's like he's like, well, I'll milk this for a video, so I'll fill it with a bunch of cornmeal, which is just him going over what's in the book without giving context or providing any sort of impetus to move the video along. It's just he's just picking spots to read.
It's not even like a review, though. It's not like his personal opinion and his, sincere, heartfelt, whatever. It's none of that. This dude's just talking.
Yeah. I guess so. That's pretty typical rambling.
OGG's gotta go.
Yep. See you, buddy.
Good night.
Yep.
And it had in its appendix a set of rules for having fantasy
Easy,
war
Bleeker.
games
Easy.
that included monsters that you kind of expect from a big, massive army battle in Lord of the Rings. For unsurprising reasons, medieval Europe was of interest to this milieu of people of American society who made up the vast majority of the wargaming hobby at the time.
He's like, I don't know why they're all evil.
Sword and sorcery heroes is a reference to the literature that directly inspired Gary Gygax. He actually didn't see Lord of the Rings as one of his direct influences. He looked at sword and sorcery fiction, things like Conan the Barbarian, Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser. If anything, Peterson here is lacking in being more offensive to the people who put out those tweets, to talking about how these pulp sword and sorcery heroes were often, let's say, morally ambiguous, who definitely in an alignment system would not be lawful good, who engage freely in drinking, getting wenches, stealing, and killing.
Oh, life
What
well
is wrong
lived,
with that?
My brothers.
Yeah, that's what you do. Will we be able to wench and drink and kill in your game, Rules Lawyer? Oh no, it's just going to be all festivals.
It's all service hours.
It's all service
talk about our
hours.
characters' identities a little bit.
Yeah. Yes, we're going to do struggle sessions. You're going to come out and tell us. How
Right.
you're...
He has real therapist energy. So tell me about your backstory.
How'd that make you feel?
Yeah, this dude's game has probably a ton devoted to their backstories and all
Tell
that
me
stuff.
about your character's childhood trauma.
Yep,
and then I'll tell you about mine.
yeah, and then that goes on for they'll tell you yours, and that goes on for 10 minutes. His goes on for an hour. Yeah.
It kind of was the stereotypical male fantasy of being a lone action hero who could get away with what they wanted and live out a certain kind of fantasy. A lot of early
We should do that again.
Yes, yeah.
I think that's the plan.
Gee, it's amazing. That almost sounds like the game that everybody fell in love with.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's
like they fell in love with that, and then
including him at some point.
Yes, exactly. You know what these people are? They're these morons that leave California. They fucked up California by voting for one party who's done nothing but ruin their state, and then they'll immediately move to another state because they can't take it anymore, and they'll start voting for the same assholes. Exactly what this guy is.
About killing things and taking their stuff. And kind of presumed morally gray actions that many tables and individuals in the hobby today would not want to engage in. Here's the excerpt from Jason Tondro's preface that was shared in the tweet that they found offensive. First, it says that there is insensitive and derogatory language regarding people with disabilities, people who are old, fat, not conventionally attractive.
I love how fat was included. What the fuck?
For me, it was the fat. I almost understand it was the not conventionally attractive. It's all right, now you're just calling out ugly people.
Exactly. You know what? If you might be a victim, we're going to include you. Jesus.
Just fire the shotgun and, whatever it hits, we're good to go.
I think it's funny. He makes Gygax out to be this crazy old evil hillbilly off in the woods or something like that. Dude.
Running moonshine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just pinching booty all day.
Yeah. Too many Californians invading. Yeah. But it's the same phenomenon. It's like they enjoyed something, they ruined it. Now they're going to come and they're going to try to ruin the thing that they just went to.
I think I have this theory to where they're trying to do this, the Indiana Jones swap out scene? They tried to secretly do that with the values of the entire genre, and then they accidentally set off a trap and have no idea what's about to happen, and now they're losing all their money and shit's going south and they're all going to die soon. I don't know about that one, but you know what I mean.
I like the imagery there. Yeah. Asterion Moloch, $5. Why does this guy act like sword and sorcery is an exclusively male thing? Yep. I can name a few. Yeah. Few good sword and sorcery books, either written by women or with a female main character. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. They're not all damsels in distress. And you know what? Like, even if they're not the damsel in distress, I mean, a lot of times they were the sympathetic protagonist along with Conan.
Oh yeah.
You know, like the female queens and stuff like that I'm talking about. Or they were the powerful villains.
Many a times, yeah.
And it's like, well, I guess we can't have black people as villains. We can't have white women as villains anymore. You know, as Crazymouse said earlier, and Rogan, it's only like white guys with blonde hair. Those are your villain choices now.
It's pretty
Some
much
people have charitably ascribed this language to authors working from bad assumptions. In the 1970s, historical wargamers in America were predominantly white middle-class men. It isn't surprising that they would dub the class of soldiers the fighting man, quote unquote. He then talks about a more explicit example how original D&D described the
Fighting
rulers
Man,
of
yeah.
dragons.
Fighting Man
In
sucks.
Greyhawk, the first expansion to original D&D, it said
finding their
that
way.
the ruler of the lawful dragons, which are kind of the equivalent of good dragons in old D&D, was a king. And there was a queen of chaotic dragons. And Gary Gygax writes that women's lib may make whatever they wish from the foregoing. A snide remark, to say the least. He describes the king of dragons as living in a great palace with a guard of 7 gold dragons, whereas the dragon queen is monstrous, a huge creature with 5 heads who lives in a stupendous cavern far beneath the earth. Her major aim is to spread evil. Jason Tondro continues to say that it's an unfortunate fact that women seldom appear in original D&D, and when they do, they're usually portrayed disrespectfully.
It's just not true. I mean, it's like I keep saying, like I played with women in the 90s. They didn't. The first thing they did was just roll up their female character. It was like, what do you want? I don't understand. They're not portrayed in D&D. What do you mean by portray? You can be either a man or a woman when you roll up your character in D&D, going all the way back to the fucking beginning. There was never like you have to play a man.
Yeah, no, never. Absolutely not. I mean, pretty much my entire gaming career, my table's been half filled with chicks, and I love it because it's an interesting. You get a real diversity of thoughts and planning and all kinds of shit. You know, like table composition does matter, but like, why do these people feel that they can just take demographics and turn them into sacred cows as their own little shields to hide behind when they're trying to do weird political advocacy? Because it's so poorly masked.
Yes.
I don't understand how you think you can get away with it and then be confused and whine like a bitch when it doesn't work. Like, I don't understand him.
They can get away with it because it's easy to agree to. Like this is easy. Like, you know, if you don't want to fight with somebody all the time, it's easier for them just to be like, oh yeah, he's 100% right.
That's fair.
Because generally speaking, you know, people like us who are gonna call him, you know, what he is to his face. We're not in the majority, let's just say.
Right. And I'll say that the women players in my game, like I run a hardcore, intense, grim, dark, gritty ass world. Women in my games are reliably the most crazy, like wild cards I've ever seen at the table. Like the most intense shit usually happens from the ladies to where it's like, oh my God, I don't know if you can do that. Like that's vile. What is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like they're not these like things that need to be protected. These are just more gamers. Stop hiding behind them.
Look, in our group, you know, my daughter is currently in it, you know, because she's at home right now. And look, if something needs figured out, she's the one that figures it out.
She's a very smart. I've always said, I think she's our smartest role player.
Right.
Oh, she is by far. And I mean, she'll play like a board game. And I know this is like a father talking, but it's also the truth. Like whatever like board game she plays, she wins. I mean, so she's used to like just figuring things out and winning. And it's like
got that strategic mind going.
Yeah. It's like nobody marvels and says a girl figured it out. Ooh.
Right.
Which is what they probably think we do. But it's like the thing is, it's like we don't do that now, but we also didn't do it back in the 1995, 1993, you know, when we were playing.
This isn't like, you know, 1982 where all the geeky kids are in the lunchroom staring at the cheerleaders 2 grades above going, oh my God, look at that.
Right. Yes. Drooling like Robert Crumb.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we're not like, it was never like that. It's, you know, It's only like that now in a certain sense. It's these certain people's mind. That's what it is. It's never like that. It's always been inclusive.
Yes. I believe this too. I mean, I wasn't around. I don't really have the authority to say, but I genuinely believe that with all my heart. I've never seen this being a problem except for when it's manufactured and, put up as a problem.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cal's got a story.
We've all been shot at.
Yep. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much, Cal, too, for patrolling the grounds, as we always say. He's always here, Mr. Dependable.
This also is fact. This is, I think, the only portrayal of women in the first 3 books in original D&D. I actually lied. The only other picture is of 2 witches, and women generally are mysterious creatures that, when they're presented as adversaries in early D&D, it's how they charm men and manipulate men. There's a notorious article from an early Dragon magazine in 1977 on women and magic and bringing the distaff Gaber into D&D, a antiquated word for women. Women had a beauty ability score that they had to roll. And there are other issues. It's in this excellent video done by Daddy Rolled a One, one of my favorite channels. He likes to
Daddy rolled a 1. Let me jot that down. There might be some fertile ground there.
Oh, he's upset about old school D&D. He should. We got a book he needs to watch or read.
Yes.
Over the early history of D&D, and he does this video that people can find. I'll have a link in the description about that article. Tondro continues. Slavery appears in original D&D not as a human tragedy that devastated generations over centuries, but as a simple commercial transaction.
How are you going to present it as something that is done what he just said it did for centuries? How does that translate as a DM to the table? Well, hey, you guys are, you've been sold into slavery. Let me just step back here. Slavery is bad. It's always been bad. In the year 1300, it's like, what do you do? What are you doing? Everybody already knows this. It's why we don't have it anymore.
See, and this is a big disconnect that I have with a lot of the modern gaming world and fantasy culture, is that I thought there was this kind of this innate expectation that the world is this weird, dark, strange, and kind of scary place where bad shit happens, and you kind of get to go out and fight the danger and be against it. I thought that was kind of like the base building block, the central pillar on which this fantasy thing is kind of framed. Like, even if we go back into Kugel the Clever and stuff, they're not really good people, but the world is a lot darker, you know what I mean? And then in games, no one wants to play with the just psychopath murder hobo group. Like, that's I mean, some people do. I've played that game plenty of times, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But
no, preach it. Yeah. No, you're 100% right. If it's a world where everything's good and normal, like it's going to be boring. I mean,
yes,
like,
I thought
what
it's like? It's conflict resolution.
Like Whoville.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like these people want to adventure in Whoville. Especially this time of year. It's a good analogy. It's like, what fun are you going to have? I guess unless you go down there and steal all their presents.
Right.
They're actually making the case to be evil characters. Actually, they don't realize it, but they are.
No, I think the subtle glorification of villainy and evil doing has become the staple replacement for this. Like, even if you look at let's say like modern anime or something, it's all about being this, I'm the good monster who's actually fighting for justice and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? It's not. I tell you what, this isn't about people with swords anymore.
we just finished up the first season of The Penguin. Which, generally speaking, I thought was pretty good.
Okay.
But there were a couple of things, and it's, I don't know. The way there's like the Sophia Falcone character who goes against the Penguin. Mm-hmm. Those are like the two adversaries. Now, the Penguin is a bad guy, but he's your protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so weird to kind of watch in the show how they did everything to make Sophia Falcone, everything she did, seem like understandable, and she's just kind of misunderstood, and she's a victim herself too. To me, it's like, can't we just go back to like, all right, this this person is bad and this person is good. Why do we always have to have these like gray layers? I mean, I sort of blame Game of Thrones a little bit, at least in the fantasy realm, for that.
You don't know her story. You don't know her story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the little girl, going nuts in the story. You don't know her story. It's like, bitch, I don't want to know her fucking story. I want her to stop breaking things.
I'll pay to see
Right.
Yeah, and I want to see a belt on her rear end later.
Grab her by her shoulder and gonna go whack on a butt.
You don't know her story. You don't know her story. Fuck you.
You better go act somebody.
You better go act somebody. I go see all Gen X Gaming $4.99. This is why I don't want Wizards of the Coast revisiting Dark Sun.
I wholeheartedly agree. Leave it as it is. They do not need to come and revamp and reskin that world setting into this. No,
Yes.
Please don't.
Yes, yeah, please, yeah. Until Elon does buy it,
Right.
leave this stuff alone. You can tell too by just how shallow these cash grabs are to them. Boy, all that Planescape stuff that, when they brought that back, man, we're just swimming in all this Planescape content now, are we? Oh, maybe it was just like a 3-book release. And then I think it was like literally one or two online things, and that's it.
Right.
You get nothing of the way they used to support their settings back in the day. Nothing.
Not in the slightest.
They don't know how.
Look up Survivors, says Triple B. Survivors of BAMN to see what that Antifa wing gets up to, like kidnapping and cult stuff. Ooh, being in the PNW punk scene, you've seen it. Okay, thank you very much for the heads up there, Triple B. Good to see you here, buddy.
Definitely.
Yeah, Badger again, $5. Thank you so
Cheers
much
to that, my good friend.
Yeah. Reminder for everyone to practice Badger's maxim: don't game with someone you wouldn't sit down and have a beer with. Yep, something we've kind of had at our table as the unofficial rule since we started. Yep.
It's a good
we don't add people a lot, and when we do, it's usually people we know that we can hang with.
They are heavily vetted.
Right.
Very heavily vetted, yes. Yeah, these people would not make it past, like, I mean, this guy wouldn't get a sniff, but still.
I had a 5-page form I had to fill out and give a little bit of blood.
That's right. That's right.
We're waiting for some of those results still.
That's from 20 years ago?
Yeah,
Why is it that this guy is the target audience that fantasy is trying to appease and is worried about coming after them? Like, why is this the chosen demographic? Is this dork on screen right now?
I don't know.
I don't get it. Question. Like, what happened here? Like, let's get real. I want a real reversion of fantasy, and maybe not going back in time because that just can't happen. But to a revisit of what was old and actually cool. Like, I like cool muscly dudes killing shit and stealing their loot. I like big titty bitches in the dungeon. You know what I mean? Like, I want.
We all did. As I said, that's
revitalization, and I don't think that. Even the people who won't say it, I think, do want it for the most part. Like, there will always be naysayers and haters, but
it's been politicized now. If you come out for that, that means essentially you're wearing the MAGA hat, even though it doesn't. It shouldn't. To them, it almost means it.
Why is that a reason to hate your neighbors?
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
because he's petite plus.
He's petite plus. Yeah,
he is. Let's do petite plus. We know it. Plus.
Perhaps the most blatant instance of this was in 1977 when Dave Arneson put out his the first fantasy campaign book. It's basically a set of rules for running a campaign in which people can run the different kingdoms. And you can invest money in things such as horse breeding, tarn breeding, and slave breeding. Male slaves cost 25 gold plus 5 gold per point of strength, whereas female slaves cost 500 gold plus 25 gold per point of charisma.
True to this day,
baby. These are all just facts about the history of the hobby. It's important to talk
it's weird that they talk about like the male slave being purchased and things of that nature. The movie Gladiator and the sequel were basically that. They bought slaves for the Gladiator pit.
Yeah, why isn't he like being incensed and outraged about Gladiator?
Yeah,
are you not entertained?
Right.
Yeah.
There's other directions they can point their finger, but they're not.
Speaking of that, we still have to get our Gladiator review. We did go see it, but it's just with the weather and everything. We got to get Gavin here.
I won't ask for your review, but did it meet your expectations?
I did in a way.
I gave it 2.5 blocks of cheese.
2.5 blocks of cheese. Yeah. That'll be your teaser.
Mighty
yeah.
fine cheese.
Yeah, it was. Look, all right. Well, because you asked, I'll give the thumbnail. Was it a great movie? No. Was it a watchable movie? In some ways, it was.
Okay.
And I'll go into detail. Maybe next week. Maybe next week the snow will relent. We'll get Gavin on, and we can talk about it a little bit. But yeah, honestly, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't good, but it wasn't that bad.
It was a movie that, in all fairness, that I don't even think needed to be made.
It was completely unnecessary. Yeah. But as long as you're making it, I guess they gave you what you wanted, which was basically a retread of the first one, and there was some stupid stuff in it. There were some cool things too. Not that good, but
if I wanted to have a beer and watch some cool sword swinging action, would this be a fun place to go?
Yeah. Don't go to the theater to see it. Don't go out of your way in the theater, but stream it or just watch it when it's free.
Put it on the background. Some scenes will captivate you.
Yeah.
Some
There
scenes you can go up and refresh your snacks or go to the restroom or send that quick text and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth streaming, watching, or just watching it when it comes for free. But
I won't watch it until it's available for free.
That's fair.
That's probably a good rule of thumb there.
About this history in order to make the hobby welcoming today. And here is a good post on Reddit by Ben Riggs, who is someone I've criticized on this channel before.
There's your problem.
And this is a good post by him that has one of the worst sexist statements from Gary Gygax. And Ben Riggs concludes, when we see something bigoted in old D&D, we talk about it. It lets the new, broad...
Go make daddy a sandwich. That's the offensive terms.
Here's the thing. Can we get the dirt on the rules lawyer? Because, before you watch one of his videos, I just want to know, we just need to know this.
You're right.
It's the same exact thing.
Right.
Why do we need to know this?
I would like to hear the things this man has said and really give a full review of his in-depth character. I want his personal relationships. Yeah. I want his bank history to make sure he's not cheating anybody. You know what? We do a real thorough review and maybe we'll tune back in.
Yep. Are there any men or women out there who may have a story or two? I don't know. I'm not alleging anything, but is this the way? Is it rules lawyer? Is this the road you want to go down?
Right.
You sack of garbage.
I want to see his Bumble account.
Right.
I want to see what's on his
hard
WhatsApp.
drive. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's why do we want to do this? Well, you want to do it because you're the ones, on the other side of the gun, so to speak. But when the gun's pointed at you, I bet you have a very different point of view. And it really is the exact same thing. It's apples to apples. If you're going to enjoy a bit of entertainment, you need to know the personal history of someone. Well, if you want to find out and do it for your own personal point of view, that's fine. But this thing where the company that owns the property is doing it, no, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's no two ways about it.
And deep tribe of D&D know that we do not want bigotry in D&D today. Talking about it welcomes the entire...
What does that mean? What does it mean we don't want bigotry? You don't want bigotry inside your game?
I was just about to ask. Well, and it's hard too because, okay, I could see not wanting actual bigotry at your table or something like that. Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
But that does not happen, and I'm going to posit something right here. I don't think it's ever happened. I mean, to any appreciable degree, maybe somewhere in the 1980s.
Someone somewhere.
Yeah, some brother walked up to a table and, I don't know, it's in Alabama or something. And maybe we're like, hey, this might not be the game for you.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. But
all right. What is that one time? Other than that, people don't realize how hard it was to get players to play this game. So I got news. Yeah, I got news for you. In the 80s, 90s, I wouldn't have cared what color you were. And that's what you saw in Stranger Things. It's like, oh, this dude likes to play. He likes to play our game, the one that we can't talk about because we don't want to get, beaten up or, humiliated in front of the girls.
Right.
In high school, I couldn't find people.
Yeah.
I couldn't find people to play.
Yeah. So if you're saying if a black nerd wandered to our table, we would be like, leave, sir. No way. We'd be like, pull up a chair. Let's go.
But then, even in the context of the game itself, Can the villains not be bigoted and evil? Because newsflash, Bellafallo, my world setting is probably the most racist, sexist, slave-infested world setting I've ever heard of. And
sounds like a great
doesn't
place to
reflect
adventure.
My personal views. It's the worst place on earth. But if this dork tells me I can't talk about it, and we're gonna dig up everyone's history because of if something didn't tickle his fancy, what a weird set of rabbit holes to go down. It's like just meaningless life choices. This dude should go make something cool. I bet he could. I bet he really could. Look at all those books he has in the background. If he really, took the time, he could
That's just his
make
law
some good
library.
fantasy.
That's his law library.
I see what Morkborg there. What else do I see?
Yeah, it's all the quote unquote.
There's some
cool
DCC.
stuff,
There's
some DCC there. Yeah.
What else we got?
Seeing this
But it's
right
not
now,
like
this
he's
picture-
lacking material. You know what I mean? These are personal choices that he's bringing to the table and making a stink about. And you
He's
know what?
chosen this path.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go, Rogan.
Well, no, I was looking at this him in this picture right there. He reminds me of the guy that was giving a review of Conan. That hated Conan.
Mhm.
That's
Oh, yeah, the book guy. Yeah.
the book guy. He's got all these books and all these game stuff behind him, and he's like, "I've never actually read a Conan book, but
Yes, yeah. This could be this bookshelf could just be for like a set dressing, performative. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. I honestly, I wouldn't. This guy's brain is like fully diseased now, so you'd have to like detox him for like a year. Out of this ideology to get anything of value out of him, because he would literally just spout these nonsensical, like non sequiturs, the whole game. Like, if there's any live plays of this guy out there, you guys let me know, please.
Dude, I would hate to sit at this dude's table. Like, can you imagine him DMing? We're going to talk about oppression for about 10 minutes, and then we'll get back to it, and I'll roll up some
Blue
items.
Rose.
Go ahead, Rogan.
He DMs the Blue Rose.
Blue Rose, yeah.
Is that a strip club?
Now it is.
Now it is, yeah. Jot that down. City of Anyer, the Blue Rose. Okay. Now you know where that waitress works.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we have a mysterious waitress in my world.
I love it.
The witness.
the Blue Rose, yeah. No, the Blue Rose was a game from Green Ronin, right?
I believe so, yeah.
It was a romance die 20 like game back. And to be fair, I've never like gone through it, and I heard some people said it wasn't as bad as you might think, but still, it was just the whole like sort of like it's a game of romance. Just kind of seemed sort of.
Can you imagine getting together with your bros? Everyone's sitting around the table. You got the dice out, and you're just like doing this.
Quiet down, boys. Quiet down. Okay, we're gonna play a game of romance.
Right.
My, what a lovely robe you're wearing tonight.
Dice roll a soap opera. Oh boy.
Rogan, your comeliness score is 95 out of 100.
All right, roll a d20.
I want to seduce the prince next.
Human family into the hobby. To do anything less is to damn D&D to darkness. It hobbles its growth, gates its community, denies the world the joy of the game, and denies its creators their due.
How did it
D&D's
not do
creators
all
were
this?
visionary game designers. They were
For
also
45
people,
years.
and people are kind of fucked up.
It didn't do
view
this
is
for
similar to
45
mine,
years.
Where you can obviously admire Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson for what they accomplished, inventing a game that revolutionized gaming and revolutionized how we interact with fantasy, while at the same time recognizing things that are problematic. That's part of chronicling human progress, looking at what we've moved on from. And
but you're policing what we're supposed to look at.
Yes.
You're policing what we're supposed to accept. You know that.
Yep.
Could that be considered fascism?
Are we the baddies, you mean? Yes.
Honestly, though.
Yeah, he should look in the mirror. Yeah, you are the fucking baddies.
It's just ridiculous to where he's talking, or this post is talking about, we don't want bigotry, we don't want this, we don't want, and then it's like, but we got to give these creators their due. It's like you are stepping on the toes of the creative process through and through by trying to get creators to custom tailor content to your likings.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yes.
I bet the hardest thing in this guy's campaign is decoupage. All right, everyone roll d20. Let's see who does it best.
Decoupage. We'll only go for a few more minutes. Crazymouse has a hard out tonight.
I got a hard out tonight.
Yeah, he's got
I got a hard on right now.
Looking at this guy, me too.
Yeah, oof. Yeah, he's a specimen.
Committing to not regress backward. Truly honoring people who have done great things in history involves looking at what they've actually done and looking at them as actual people.
Funny how we don't look at you as an actual person. What skeletons are in your closet?
Yeah,
that's what I want to know. Why does it apply to certain people and not you?
Complete transparency. Let's do this.
Yeah, because you're quote unquote marginalized, dude. You look white enough to me. Yeah. You got the cheesy mustache. Your skin is pretty darn white.
And you got dirty glasses.
You got dirty glasses.
Glasses, dude.
The thing is, now you said that, I'm seeing like out of this side, I'm seeing every little like dot that I didn't clean on here. I'm like,
Double D's gonna be getting out the Clorox wipes.
Yeah, these things are gonna be Windex to hell.
Idealizing them and using them as a talking point to advance an agenda that they're not able to say their position on because they're dead. For Elon Musk and his mob, this has nothing to do with honoring Gary Gygax and the other creators, as they're clearly being honored in this book. The real objection is to people.
You're a sexist. You're a racist. Now let's talk about all the stuff you did. That's what they're saying. You can't. There's bells you can't unring, and when you ring that bell in the beginning, it soils everything else. You're essentially saying like the person who did this is awful.
Yes.
Well, you can't do that. It comes down to that. And there's nothing awful about them. They're people. Everybody knows people, maybe aren't perfect, but there's really nothing he has to apologize for.
Right.
Not one thing.
Got a self-appointed the savior of this, I just don't. Sorry.
Yep.
No, you're good.
Tac says for $5 Canadian. Guys, even Matt Mercer included a faction of slavers in his setting on Critical Role. There you go. The boss killed a PC. When are they going to cancel him? Yeah. Let's hear it. We got actual slavery going on inside Critical Role. OMG. All right, I've seen enough. We're
this dude, it just irks me to some degree or another, and it's not even that like I actually care about this dude's opinion by any means, but it's the fact that he has become this like self-appointed champion of the social agenda. I just want to be his villain, if that's the case. Like this dude sucks. Like where is the real alternative to that? Because man,
Wonkee is found a nemesis.
I'm your Hucklebear.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at right now. Is like I'm just a little feisty now.
And like Wonkee and I were talking off screen about him maybe starting his own channel, and it's like the thing you have to know when you start a channel is just speak your mind on people like that. Oh, this guy's a douchebag. Maybe he does good things here or there, but this take is awful, and he should be fucking ashamed of it. He looks retarded.
Yeah.
Nobody's trying to cancel me. I mean,
that's fair.
It's like once you do it, they can only call you a Nazi once.
Also, you heard it here first. YouTube channel coming soon.
There you go. Yep. And we will announce it broadly and roundly
and proudly.
And proudly.
Much
yes.
appreciated. Thanks for the
because
help.
you are a great guest.
Appreciate y'all so much.
And and when you are when you have his heinous harvest ready to go, I'm sure we will be talking then.
Oh heck yeah!
Get everything re-squared away with that project.
Exactly.
And,
so
we'll be good
the
to
project
go.
not abandoned by any means. It's mostly written at this point in time. I have like one more monster to go, and then it's just the long road of illustrating it out and getting the rest of the work done. All kinds of goodies in the pipeline, though.
Yep. And he's Wonkee's going to be helping Rogan out with the art on my adventure, as I said earlier. So
excited.
Yeah. So he's excited. I'm excited for him. We're good to go. Yeah.
I believe in the good.
It's going to be awesome.
You guys both working on it is going to be my motivation for kicking it in and finishing up the last. I probably got a good 30% to go as far as the writing.
Of course, that's when I step in and double check that spelling.
Double checks all my spelling. Yeah, all my spelling. Yeah.
You can use a red pen on it.
Verify.
All right, well, Wonkee, we're going to let you go, but we will talk soon.
Wonkee, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Yep.
Thank you for having me. No, seriously, I hope to do this again when I have something to talk about, and we can have a.
Sounds like you have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you on again.
Talk about it's such an awkward moment because it's like I'm out of the preparation phase. I'm into the actually doing cool shit. I just don't have a lot to show for it right now.
Yeah.
So good things coming. It is.
All right, well, regardless, you were a good guest, just cracking wise with us. So
thank you.
Thanks for putting up with us. Yeah. Thanks for putting up with us tonight.
I'll text you afterward.
Please do.
And, we'll make those arrangements we talked about. So
awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. I'm excited.
All right, buddy.
Big love to the chat. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your night.
Yep.
Good night,
buddy. Yep. All right. One second.
Hold on just one
Hold
second,
on.
Double D. We're going to throw up while it's still there.
There
we go.
Thanks, Wonkee.
Yep.
There we go. Make me bigger. Because me bigger is me good.
Look at those glasses.
Are your glasses dirty?
There is. There's like a spot on this one, isn't there? Yeah, look at that. I knew it. I knew it. Oh, my God. Now I'm going to be getting it. Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Look at those glasses.
Clean your glasses.
His glasses were filthy. They were absolutely filthy.
I did see that, yeah. Geez,
there's like a film on them. I'm glad that someone else mentioned it. I didn't want to just nitpick about everything.
Yeah. And guys, we have not forgotten about Otto and Rorik. In fact, if you were...
Who are they? Wait, who are they?
There we go. See, I was ready to go, but...
and this was on me. This one's on me.
Well, but it's kind of on us, too, because it's getting late regardless.
Well, Derek's working at the grocery store, and during the snowstorm, my wife doesn't feel comfortable going to pick him up.
Yeah.
And, this is... I do feel comfortable driving in this stuff.
Yeah, so because you do it all day. Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, we don't, like I said, we're not making a huge deal of it, but we're under a state of emergency here. So I'm just like, my work is like, my wife is a teacher. Her whole week has been canceled.
Yep.
His wife I'm working from home.
Yeah,
like,
his wife's a teacher in Derek's school system. School's canceled all the week, just like Double D said. College classes have been canceled. Yep. The Catholic schools, parochial schools, they had 2 days. They canceled already for tomorrow. They did a half day today.
Yep.
It's just.
Yep. Thank you, buddy. Yep.
Thank you.
Good job. Yep. He was able to hang with the boys. We got to get him on and
he
Greg
did last
on at the
time
same
too.
time. Yep. Oh yeah. Well, that's kind of like when he was talking like last time. I'm like, man, I really like this guy, and then doing the game with him in Greg's live play. I don't know, just something about him. There's just
he has energy and passion, and you can tell it when he talks.
Oh, I'd like to think I have a little bit of an eye for talent, and
it's a hit.
Sometimes, like, I don't know, maybe I'm not 100% right, but sometimes I'm just like, that he's got a little bit of that. So those are the people I want to be associated with.
Fountains.
I want guys who work, who grind, and do, good things. And it doesn't, and look, if you don't like somebody else that I like, that's okay. You know what? But I'm going to try to associate myself with people who are a faucet and not a drain.
Yeah.
Quality, not quantity.
J. Mike, where are you?
Yeah, you in the Great Lakes, Mike? Yeah,
you don't need to put your address up there.
Yeah, unless you don't. Yeah,
you can put your area code.
Yeah, we'll Google it. Yeah, you guys should just Google like Erie, PA. Like you'll see a bunch of national stories about
Cleveland.
Oh, he's in Seatown. Oh, I heard you guys didn't get hit that bad. Maybe they were full of shit.
Maybe it came after ours.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, I mean, it's same weather patterns. I mean, same lake effect snow. Cleveland is just as much on the lake as we are. They're just over west, just a little bit. Yeah, certainly plenty of time for auto work. Thank you for understanding. Not a problem. So, yep. Yeah, we will. We'll get it going into high gear next time. I don't think we'll have a guest on next week, which always kind of helps a little bit. We can just kind of do a few things and then move into it at the end. And,
crack-wise, roll dice.
Crack-wise, roll dice. Sounds like a plan. Does it not?
J. Mike says he can throw a football to the lake from his house.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
You got a hell of an arm.
Towards Geneva on the lake. Ooh, it's bad. Oh, yeah. We used to love going there after the medieval fair, Joe. We'd go to Eddie's. And that whole little strip Well, you know what makes Geneva on the Lake. Yeah. All right, boys and girls, we're gonna get out of here.
Thank you, everybody, for a great show tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, y'all done well.
Thank you for joining us.
I will tell you what.
Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the membership gifts.
Yeah,
They're
you guys
just so kind.
Yep.
Thanks for being so funny. You guys are freaking hilarious.
Yeah. Yep.
They
Absolutely.
are. They're a riot and smart.
Absolutely. Hey, we'll talk soon. I'm going to work on a video this weekend. A little different, not culture war stuff, thankfully. No, I love doing it, but I also love doing other stuff. So I'm going to hopefully have that out by early next week at the latest. So, all right, we'll leave you with a little classy Freddie Blassie and then get out of here. So peace, guys. Stay safe if you're in the north and you've got snow to deal with. And if not,
somebody said stay
safe as
hydrated,
well.
remember?
Yeah, stay hydrated. Yeah.
Stay hydrated.
All right, guys, take care. Love you. Peace. Adios.
Back when I was a kid, life was going swell. Till something happened. Blew everything to hell. That night my daddy stumbled in, all pale and weak. Said a woman up the block just gave birth to a geek. Mom said, sell it to the circus. What the heck? Dad said, nope, this one's a pencil neck. And if there's one thing lower than a sideshow freak, it's a gritty, scum-sucking pencil neck geek. You see, if you take a pencil that won't hold lead, looks like a pipe cleaner attached to a head. Add a buggy whip body with a brain that leaks, you got yourself a grit-eating pencil neck geek. Pencil neck geek, grit-eating freak, scum-sucking pea-head with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-gut, losing streak. Nothing but a pencil neck geek. Pencil neck geek. Soon the geeks were popping up all over town. You couldn't hardly sneeze without knocking one down. After a nice juicy steak, if you need a toothpick, just reach for a geek. They'll do the trick. One day we cut one up for fish bait. Learned our lesson just a little bit late. Soon as the geek hit the drink, the water turned red. Next day, sure enough, all the fish were dead. Pencil neck geek, grit-eating freak, scum-sucking pea-head with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-gut losing streak. Nothing but a pencil neck geek. Most any night, you know where I can be found. Yeah, stomping some geek's head into the ground. So keep the faith, cause in Blassie you can trust. I won't give up till the last geek bites the dust. Pencil neck geek, gritty freak, scum-sucking pea-head with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-gut losing streak. Nothing but a pencil neck geek. They say these geeks come a dime a dozen. I'm looking for the guy who's supplying the dimes. It's gonna be real hard times for all of these grit-eating, scum-sucking, boot-licking, drop-kicking, gut-grinding, nail-biting, glue-sniffing, scab-picking, butt-scratching, egg-hatching, sleazy, smelly, pepper-bellied, dirty, lousy, rotten, stinking freaks. Nothing but a pencil neck geek. Pencil neck geek.